Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Thursday, June 6th, 2024, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ORION NWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got some Thursday afternoon baseball for you. The Seattle Mariners versus the Oakland Athletics. This is the rubber match, game 3 of 3. Let's cue the music, take a look at the thumb, and I'll go over the starting lineups. Let's get it, baby. And on the left, we have Julio Rodriguez. And on the right, we have Seth Brown. And let's start it off with the visiting Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners at shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Batting second, playing third base this afternoon, it's Demo Dylan Moore. Batting third, playing center field, no fly zone, Julio Rodriguez. Trident's up, baby. Nice homer last night. Wasn't enough to win, but it's a good sign for the Mariners and Julio moving forward. Batting fourth, playing first base, Ty France. Batting fifth, catching tonight for Seattle, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting sixth, playing right field, Mitch Haniga. Batting seventh, DHing today for Seattle, Mitch Garver. Batting eighth, playing left field, Victor Robles. And batting ninth, playing second base, Ryan Bliss. And on the mound for the Mariners, our ace, our number one pitcher, 2-0 record with an ERA of 1.30. It is Brian. Woo! Let's go, baby. We are ready. And let's get into the starting lineups for the home Oakland Athletics. Leading off for the Athletics, playing third base, the former Mariner, Abraham Toro. Batting second, playing left field, Miguel Andujar. Batting third for the A's, center fielder, J.J. Bleday. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, DHing for Oakland, Brent Rooker. Batting fifth, playing right field, Seth Brown. Batting sixth, catching tonight for the A's, Kyle McCann. Batting seventh, playing first base for the A's, Tyler Soderstrom. Batting eighth, playing second base for Oakland, Zach Geloff. And batting ninth, playing shortstop for Oakland, Max Schumann. And on the mound for the A's with a 4-4 record, an ERA of 4.01, J.P. Sears. Let's go M's, baby. Sarah in the building, what's good? Scotty Mack in the building, what's good? And like I mentioned multiple times on the stream, make sure you guys are taking care of your mental health, addiction, depression, anxiety. These are things that a lot of people go through on a daily basis or have gone through in the past. So if you feel like you're slipping a little bit, make some minor adjustments to your daily routine. Cut back on the fast food, exercise, go for a walk. Maybe cut back on the partying and the booze and the beer. Make some time for some music in your life. Spend some time with friends. You'd be really surprised if you just make some minor adjustments to your daily routine. You can slip out of the darkness a lot sooner, and it'll help you get back on track to win the day. Big facts. Let's go, Mariners. Let's go, baby. Hopefully we'll end up getting a Mariner win, 2 games out of 3. And if you ended up watching the streams with me here in the last couple days, it's been kind of a crazy matchup. You would think on paper the Mariners would have a great chance to sweep. We won game 1, 4-3 on Scott Service's birthday, barely. And then last night, you got to give the A's all the credit. They played fantastic. They shut us out through 7 innings until we got our first double by J.P. Crawford. We got one of the hardest hit baseballs in the StatCast era, over 102 miles an hour. J.P. Crawford ended up homering off that pitch. But it wasn't enough off Miller to get the dub. We lost 2-1, and then we're here now in Oakland for game number 3 of the rubber match, and we have to win here today with Brian Wu. I like our chances to win 2 out of 3, and then later on tonight, you're going to have the NBA Finals game number 1, the Dallas Mavericks. Oh, baby, you already know what it is, going against the Boston Celtics. I won't be streaming that, but I will be watching. Not a big fan of the NBA anymore, but once it does get to the Western Conference Finals, Eastern Conference Finals, and then, of course, the NBA Finals, even if I'm not the biggest fan of the NBA anymore, I'm going to tune in. I want to make sure I'm seeing greatness happen, and I want to be able to recognize, what's going to happen this particular year. Is it going to be Luka and Kyrie, or is it going to be Tatum and Brown? We're going to find out here in just a few hours. Let's go, baby. And then we got the Stanley Cup final coming up pretty soon here in a few days as well. So definitely exciting times. The NBA and the NHL are wrapping up. We're still waiting for NFL and college football after the summer. At this point, once the Stanley Cup and the NBA finals are completely done, we're pretty much just going to have baseball, and that's pretty much it. Well, baseball and wrestling. And we got a WWE pay-per-view next Saturday or Sunday, I believe, there. And I'm very excited, going to Drew McIntyre's hometown, Glasgow, baby. Let's go. Leading off for the Mariners, J.P. Crawford. Let's go, J.P. First pitch to J.P. Crawford. Little chopper towards first, foul, behind in the count 0-1. Bring that electricity to the bats here today. Let's not wait until the 7th inning to get our first hit. That was embarrassing. Let's go. Hope everyone is having a fantastic day. They're in the YouTube chat. Pitch is outside, 1-1 count. And shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X. Yes, I know it's a little early, 12:30, here at Pacific time. Obviously, if you're in the Midwest, 2:30, East Coast, 3:30. But I appreciate everyone hopping in and hanging out with your boy. 1-1 pitch, JP pops it up. Should be a routine play to JJ Bleday or the right fielder. There we go, 1 away. Nice catch by Seth Brown in the outfield, calling off JJ Bleday. Next up for the Mariners, like I was mentioning, I wanted to see Demo higher in the lineup instead of in the 9-hole. Scott Service listened to the text message, and we got Demo here playing third base for Hollywood Josh Rojas in the 2-hole. Let's go, Demo. And I think Demo will play better higher in the lineup. I'm not saying that he can't do it, lower in the lineup like Josh Rojas did, but I feel that Demo will play better, and he'll have a better chance to get on base and to be an impact player when he's in the 2, the 5 or the 6 hole rather than sitting in the 7, 8, or 9 hole. Let's go, Demo. We need you today. 1-0 pitch from Sears to Demo. Big swing and a miss. 1-1 count. Let's go, Dylan. Dylan Moore has been a pleasant surprise for the Mariners, like Luke Raley. I don't think we really anticipated a whole lot out of those guys, as well as Hollywood Josh Rojas. But that's baseball for you. Next man up mentality after you get rid of Eugenio Suarez, Teoscar Hernandez, and Jared Kelenic. there's got to be guys that are going to step up, and it's not going to be just, like a Julio or a J.P. Crawford or a Cal Raleigh that have been on the team for a while. So it's nice when you see new faces in new places, or just new faces on the team emerge and be able to show out. Pitches on the corner there for a strike, 2-2 count. Saturday, Stanley Cup, and then next Saturday for the WWE pay-per-view? And I know it'll be early, like 10 a.m., but I will be doing it. I'm not going to be missing any more pay-per-views. I mean, if they're overseas and they're early, as long as it's like 9 or 10 a.m., I'm good. If it's 8 a.m., then that might be a little too early, but 9 or 10 a.m. is good. Let's go, baby. I'm excited. And obviously, WWE has been must-see TV. Big swing and a miss on a 3-2 pitch from J.P. Sears. Got him. Demo, 2 away. Next up for the Mariners, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, baby. Trident's up. We were very proud of you hitting that homer late, to be able to get us on the board, but just a little too late, and we ended up losing 2-1. But having the third, longest homer based off StatCat, miles per hour, over 102 miles an hour, and based off that particular percentage to be able to homer off a pitch like that, that's top 3 of all time in the StatCast era for Julio. You don't really see guys hit homers when it's 101, 102 miles an hour that often anymore. And Julio was able to achieve that feat yesterday, but we still got the L. We took the L yesterday. It was tough, but it is what it is. And also, bringing in Victor Robles at the worst possible time to go into that double play. I predicted that play would happen, and it did. Same thing when we had bases loaded and you put in Mitch Garver. Like, you got to be able to put in guys that have a better chance to get a base hit to help the team, not guys that have a batting average of like 150 like Mitch Garver, as well as a guy that's brand new to the team and Victor Robles. Didn't really make any sense there, but again, that's Scott Service for you. Sometimes smart, sometimes dumb. 2-1 pitch to Julio. Big swing and a miss. 2-2 count. Oh, come on, Julio. Focus, my guy. We need you. Bring that electricity today, Julio. 2-2 pitch. Got him to swing. Big swing and a miss. And we're out of the inning. Let's go to the bottom of the first inning. Knotted up here at 0-0. Nice job by J.P. Sears. Look at JP's numbers there. 1 inning pitch, 0 hits, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, 2 Ks. Very strong start for J.P. Sears, coming into the game with a 4-4 record and a 4.01 ERA. Leading it off for the Oakland Athletics, third baseman, the former Mariner, Abraham Toro. Batting second, left fielder, Miguel Andujar. And batting third, center fielder, J.J. Bleday. And if you haven't smashed the like button just yet, please do. Hopefully we can get to 10 within the first hour and then pick up the other 10 before the game ends. Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X as well. And if you got a Twitter/X account, do your boy a solid and like and retweet the stream. It'll help us get more people on this very early afternoon start. Let's go. All right, we're at halfway there. We're at 7. We need 3 more people to smash the like button, and we'll be at 10. Hopefully we can get that here within the next 30 minutes, and then we'll be on our way. Let's go, baby. And thank you for Sarah for liking and reposting on the Twitter/X, and hopefully we'll have a few others that will follow suit. Let's go. And on the mound for the Mariners, bringing that electricity. And who would have thought that the 5-hole pitcher for the Mariners would be the #1 pitcher in the organization right now? 2-0 record. We've won the last 5 starts Brian Wu has pitched. He's got an ERA of 1.30. Logan Gilbert, before Brian Wu came back from the injury, was the best pitcher for the Mariners, but not anymore. It is Brian Wu. Let's go, baby. We want to keep it moving. Logan Gilbert, Bryce Miller, George Kirby, and Luis Castillo are very hit or miss. Sometimes great, sometimes awful. But one guy that has been very consistent since he came off the injured list is Bryan Woo. Thank God we didn't let him go. Thank God we didn't trade him. And it shows you, we have a very deep farm system, and you never know that, a guy that might struggle, when he first came into the league, obviously very early in his, young career, you can be a second-year player, a third-year player, a fourth-year player, a very young guy, and, be a five-hole pitcher and play like you're the number one. And that's what Bryan Woo has done for us. I like his delivery. I like his confidence. I like his swagger, his vibe. And when I see him on the mound, he's the only one to me that feels like he's got the swagger and confidence that he's going to be able to get 8 to 10 Ks. And if he can't get that number, they're going to fucking win. And he's not going to give up a lot of big plays. And eventually he's going to get roughed up. And I know he's going to end up, having his first loss of the season at some point. But I got to be able to trust him in this heat wave that he's on and this electricity that he's bringing to the lineup. And I'm really happy that he's there, because the other four need to pick up the pace. They need to get on Bryan Woo's level. They might be bigger names than Bryan Woo, Luis Castillo, George Kirby, Bryce Miller, and Logan Gilbert. But Woo undeniably is the best pitcher on the squad, and there's no debate. Abraham Toro rips it fair. Fuck. Right out of the gates. Is he going for three? Stopping at second base. Whoa. I thought he was going to go for three. Nice job by Abraham Toro there. Come on, Bryan Woo. Can't talk you up and have you give up a double right off the gates. Come on, my guy. Settle in. A nice hit by Abraham Toro right out of the gates, the former Mariner. Next up, left fielder Miguel Andujar. This Sunday is the NXT pay-per-view. How is it looking on paper? Does it look like it's worth watching? I guess the real question is it going to be worth streaming? I guess it depends on what's going on. We'll have a Mariner game, I think, early in the morning that day. Then we got NASCAR Cup Series that I typically watch with Paisley. But if the pay-per-view is on like at 5 p.m., I might consider, doing that on that particular Sunday evening. Because I was more than likely going to take that day off. Just watch the Mariner game with Paisley, watch the NASCAR Cup Series race, and then, possibly watch the NXT pay-per-view if it's worth it. Top of the first, bottom of the first, runner at second, 1-1 pitch from Woo to Andujar. Pitch is low and outside, 2-1 count. Usually NXT pay-per-views start, hitting the mark. Obviously if it ends up being, one of their bigger pay-per-views like the takeovers, obviously we've seen a lot of those in different locations, Toronto and New York and whatnot. Little chopper to first, one away. Runner advances to third. Abraham Toro, runner in scoring position. Andujar does his job. Next up for the A's, maybe the most dangerous hitter that you have to keep an eye on, center fielder J.J. Bleday. Him and Brent Rooker. We really got to make sure we're keeping an eye on both of those guys, as well as Zach Gelof, who homered yesterday to help them get the win. John in the building. What's good? And unfortunate for Dallas sports fans, they didn't get the Stars. They got a little bit further than they did the previous year, but couldn't get past Edmonton. But I would assume the Florida Panthers are going to be the favorite squad. I could see Edmonton winning, but they're going to have to bring it. But I could definitely see that Stanley Cup final going 6 or 7 games for sure. J.J. Bleday, foul. But it should be a good one. And I think the NBA Finals, even though the NBA regular season was some bootios, I think that the NBA Finals should be pretty good. It could go either way, and there's a good possibility it will go 6 games, right? But it could go 7. With these two teams, I don't think there's that much of an advantage from one team to the next. You got Luka and Kyrie, right? And what are the role players going to do? You got Tatum and Brown, but what are the role players going to do? And the role players will probably end up, whoever's role players play better, right, will end up probably helping that team end up winning the championship. But obviously, Luka and Kyrie are the two best players that are going to be on the floor at all times. No disrespect to Tatum and Brown. They're good, but they're not Hall of Fame players yet. They're just known as really good players. Luka and Kyrie are Hall of Fame already. So, we'll see. Two Hall of Fame players against two really good players. I think I might be leaning a little bit towards the Dallas Mavericks. Maybe Dallas at 6. But I think Boston is good enough to win, too. J.J. Bleday, chop foul, 3-2 count. But if Boston ends up winning in 6 games or 7 games and Tatum and Brown step up and they end up getting the championship, that wouldn't really shock me either. It's not like one team is so much better than the other. It's a pretty even matchup. 3-2 pitch from Wu to Bleday. Popped up. Should be a routine play there for Julio. Run, Julio, run. There we go. Julio throws home to keep the runner honest on Abraham Toro. Good job, Julio. No fly zone. There we go. Next up for the A's, DHing for Oakland, Brent Rooker. Good defense, Julio. We need that. Keep your head on a swivel, my guy. First pitch, chop foul by Brent Rooker. Behind in the count, 0-1. Let's go, Brian. We need you, baby. Let's get it. Brent Rooker in the box. Bottom of the first. Abraham Toro at third, 2 away. 0-1 pitch to Rooker. Pitch is high. 1-1 count. All right, I'll look at that once we go to a commercial break here. Big swing and a miss. 1-2 count. Let's go, Woo. 8 to 10 Ks, baby. Let's go. Woo. Pitch is high, out of the zone. 2-2 count. Let's go, baby. Two pitch from Wu to Rooker. Got him. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. My guy, Brian. Woo! Let's go. Nice K, my guy. Let's keep it moving. If we can get 1 or 2 Ks per inning, that'll get him on pace for 8 to 10 before he ends up getting pulled. Nice job. 1 inning pitch, 1 hit, no earned runs, no walks, 1 K. Let's go. ERA of 1.26. I love it. Nice job, Brian. Let's go to the top of the second inning. See who's up next for the Mariners. Next up for the Mariners, playing first base, Ty France. Batting second, catching tonight for the Mariners, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And batting third, playing right field this afternoon, Mitch Haniga. Let's go, Mariners. The card is very detailed there, so it looks like there's quite a few. Ruka and Legend, Henley, Parker. Some of these individuals, I'll be honest, I don't know who some of these people are because I don't watch NXT on a regular basis. Some of these names are familiar, and then some of the others I've only seen, briefly. Well, from just me glancing at the card, though, I see a couple matches that look a little intriguing, though. like the matches that you mentioned with the Trick Williams and the Ethan Page and the Roxanne Perez and the Jordan Grace. Those ones look pretty intriguing. And again, a lot of times, even if the card, looks a little, I want to say off. I mean, it's NXT. It's not going to be the same thing as like a WWE main card pay-per-view. The names are typically going to be a little lower, and you're going to have some names that used to be on Raw and SmackDown sprinkled into the NXT roster. They usually will mix it up, from time to time. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'll stream it. Do we know what time it's on? Is it on at 5 o'clock on Sunday Pacific? Or is it on earlier? We're in the top of the second, 0-0 Mariners and A's. JP Sears on the mound, Ty France in the box. 0-1 pitch from Sears to France. Pitch is in the zone, but inside, 1-1 count. Let's go, Ty. Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X as well as YouTube. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. Ty France chops that one foul. Hopefully we're close to 10 likes at this point. We got 20 people watching. I know it's a little early, for a stream and whatnot. We need 2 more people to smash the like button and we'll be at 10. And again, we got 10 people on one side and we got 10 on the other that are watching so far. And if the game gets pretty interesting, we'll get a little bit of a spike of viewership as the game 1 and game number 2 got really interesting late. Chopper. Geloff throw to first. 1 away. Next up for the Mariners, big dumper catcher Cal Raleigh. Let's go, Cal. First pitch to Cal inside, 1-0 count. Five p.m. Pacific. Okay. I may or may not. I'm not really too sure. We'll see. It kind of depends on how I feel and what happens. Obviously, earlier in that day with the Mariner matchup in the morning, and then the NASCAR Cup Series race. Also depends on what kind of turnout we would have. Slightly less turnout than a regular WWE pay-per-view, but usually the regulars will typically show up. Pitch is low and outside. 3-0 count. Cal can get a walk here. See if we get a good pitch here on 3-0 that he swings at, or if it's terrible, he just takes the walk. Pitch is inside. Good eye. Trident's up. Nice job, Cal. Don't swing at that garbage. Cal Raleigh with a walk, 4 straight balls. I love that. JP Sears losing a little control. Love it. Next up, right fielder, Mitch Haniga. Let's go, Mitch. Bring that electricity to the lineup today, baby. Let's go. Come on, baby. First pitch to Mitch Haniger. Chop foul. Behind in the count, 0-1. Come on, baby. Let's go. Gotta win 2 out of 3 against the A's. 0-1 pitch from JP Sears to Haniger. Haniger. Double play opportunity. Got him. Good defense there by the A's. Haniger hits into a double play, and that is the end of the top of the second inning. Let's go to the bottom of the second inning and see who is up for the A's. Now, we're not very good at left-handed pitchers this year. It's been a little rough, but hopefully we'll figure it out. Or we're just going to have to wait for JP Sears to go out of the game and then see if we can start raking in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. It's just not ideal, to have to wait that long to be able to start producing something, but we'll see. Next up for the Athletics, right fielder, Seth Brown. Batting second, catching tonight for the A's, Kyle McCann. And batting third this inning in the seventh hole, first baseman Tyler Soderstrom. Let's go Mariners. Take a look at JP Sears, 2 innings pitched, 0 hits, 0 earned runs, only 1 walk, and 2 Ks. Brought his ERA down from 4.01 to 3.89. 4-4 record coming in. And for Brian Wu, about to take the mound here, 1 inning pitch, 1 hit, no earned runs, no walks, 1 K, ERA of 1.26. 2-0 record, but we've won the last 5 starts, all 5 starts of Brian Wu in 2024. So let's keep it moving. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Brian. Wheel and deal. Let's go. Seth Brown in the box. First pitch is low and inside. 1-0 count to Seth Brown. One-0 pitch. Wu to Brown. Chop that one foul. 1-1 count. I know you like it, but, he's old. So, I got Evans, I got Godwin. I already know what my team is. My team is good enough to win the NFC South, but, more than likely there'll be pretenders, not contenders. So we can end up winning, 9, 10, 11 games, and we can even win a playoff game or 2, but that doesn't mean the Bucs are going to be in the NFC Championship game or the Super Bowl. I've already had my, 2 reigns with Sapp and Brooks and Lynch and Barber and Alstott, and then the last one with Brady and Gronk and, Bruce Arians, holding it down with Levante and Devin White and Antoine Winfield Jr. and Tristan Wirfs. So, again, it's always nice to bring in kind of like a notable name, but I don't expect anything from, Sterling. There's more of a chance of him getting hurt and not really being a factor for the Bucs than him actually doing something for us. He's a name, but it doesn't mean that he's going to produce. And, he's already been in the league for 8-9 years. So, we'll see what kind of motivation that he has as a player. And if he ends up being, the third wide receiver or fourth wide receiver on the squad, and it can end up getting, 500 yards to 700 yards and maybe 3-4 touchdowns. And he could be a guy that could help the team out. Great, but I don't expect anything from him. I'm going to just be optimistic, because if you put a lot of expectations, he's going to get 8 touchdowns and 1,000 yards, it's not going to happen. I'd be very shocked if that happened. Popped up to Robles. And Victor Robles jumps up and drops the ball in left field. He's out. All right, we just brought in Victor Robles, and the guy comes in at left field trying to, make a show-off play, jumping in the air while he's trying to catch the foul ball, and he drops it off the team. You're out of there. You're on a short leash, my guy. Routine play, and you jump up in the air to have a little swagger to be able to make the play, and you don't even fucking catch it. Idiot. Victor Robles, see you later, guy. Not on my team. Hit the showers, dude. I've already seen enough, and I didn't really like the Victor Robles signing to begin with, and my hunch was right. I can't count on you in the box, and I obviously can't count on you in the outfield either. Terrible. He won't be starting after that. That'll be the last time that we see Victor Robles in left field. Idiot. How are you going to jump up off one leg, and you're trying to make some kind of cool out, and then you don't even close the mitt and then the ball comes out? Come on, man. Unbelievable. We already have a hard time with pitching and getting good base hits. The last thing that we need is another liability in the outfield. Jesus Christ. Terrible. 0-2 pitch. Wu to McCann. Got him. Brian. Woo! Nice job, Brian. Let's go. K number 2. Keep it moving. Next up for the Athletics, first baseman Tyler Soderstrom. I mean, I've seen enough, man. Like, we brought him in, and I already knew he was going to hit into a double play. Like, Scott Service is sometimes a fucking idiot. Like, we have bases loaded and you bring in Mitch Garver? Like, that's the number one choice, the guy that's probably the worst pickup and the worst player on the team, guy batting like 150, and that's the guy you bring in bases loaded? Of course he wasn't going to get a hit. Like, what did you think he was going to get, a grand salami? It was terrible. And then putting in Victor Robles, like in that particular situation of the game where we need to be able to get an RBI or, some kind of crucial hit to be able to try to win the game or tie the game up or take the lead. And then, again, I predicted that he was going to hit into a double play, and he did. And I think a lot of Mariner fans were probably thinking the same damn thing. Like, this is not good. And then now him being extra cocky, in the outfield, jumping off one leg and not even catching a routine fly out to left field. If it was me, I would already take his ass out and throw Dominic Canzone in left field over there. Dumb. Bad signing. Flip to first. 2 away. I mean, and we got other guys like, Luis Urias and other guys that we've like optioned away. That guy's not good either. It's like we got a lot of guys, that are names, but that doesn't mean that they're good. And hell, even our good name players are struggling. It's not like all our guys are playing great, and we can't get rid of guys like JP Crawford and Julio and Cal, but it's not like these guys are batting 350 and they have like 20 home runs right now. So we already have plenty of problems as it is. The last thing that we need is some fucking idiot that's brand new to the team trying to show off and fucking up already. I've seen enough. Hopefully he doesn't play ever again for the Mariners. Hopefully that was it. But knowing Scott Service, he'll probably give him a few more chances, and we'll probably see him sprinkled into the lineup even after that error. We'll probably say, not a boy, keep going. Don't try to show off. Just be yourself. Well, you should have already known that going into the game. But if they ended up cutting him after today, it wouldn't hurt my feelings. Or if they sent him down to AAA or just had him on the bench and just never played him. But again, I think another punch out by Wu. But I think that, we have plenty of guys that are waiting in the wings, We have 7 or 8 prospects in the top 100, and so I would rather have one of those guys get called up. Montez, Harry Ford, Cole Emerson, any of these other guys. I'd rather have those guys coming in rather than signing a guy, that's just waiting to get picked up or trading for a guy or picking up a guy from another team. Why don't we just trust our farm system? And that even if our farm system guys struggle, we're okay with that as Mariner fans because we already understand, they've been playing single A, high A ball, double A, triple A. It might take some time, but we don't got a whole lot of patience for some outsider coming in, thinking that he's going to take over the team and the lineup and then making mistakes early on, and I know I'm not the only one that thinks that way either. We're going to have a lot more patience for guys that are our guys, not outsiders that come in. Robles, boo! Garbage. Nice little punch out that Brian Wu again. Let's go. Brian Wu with 3 Ks. Let's keep it moving, baby. End of the second inning, 0-0 Mariners and Athletics. Next up for Seattle, DHing for the Mariners, Mitch Garver. And And hopefully one day, like I mentioned yesterday, that we'll never have to worry about this position ever again. Hopefully we can find at one point in the next 10 to 20 years, I hope we can find another Edgar Martinez, because I'm just sick and tired of going through different players at the DH position, and all of them are fucking terrible. You know, like, again, you know, we had Vogelback, you know, but it was either a strikeout or a home run. Carlos Santana, I did enjoy him, and I did like Mike Ford. You know, they did strike out a lot, but at least they were hitting homers from time to time. But with Mitch Garver, the whole point of being a DH is you're a designated hitter, but this designated hitter can't hit. Come on. Batting second, left fielder, should be cut after today, Victor Robles. And batting third, second baseman, Ryan Bliss. So as you're looking in the 7, 8, and 9, not pretty. Garver, Robles, and Bliss. It's like we're not really giving Brian Wu a whole lot of help here. You know, that's a pretty shitty lineup if you ask me. And I don't mind Ryan Bliss, but he's new. You know, Garver's terrible, Robles is trash, and Ryan Bliss has potential. You know, but it's not like we can count on him to be a guy that can get a hit. You know, every other at bat yet. You know, I do like his speed though on the bags. You know, he's definitely a fast, you know, player out there, and you know, it seems like he's a decent defender, but we'll see what happens. Top of the third, 1-2 count to Mitch Garver. Come on, Mitch. And besides this moment, when you hit the walk-off out, Polo ended up getting that single, and then we ended up hitting a walk-off homer and winning 2-1 in this photo. We haven't really did a whole lot since that moment. And I get it. You got 5 homers. You know, I see that. But again, they're just too far and few between. Two-two pitch. Just foul. I was about to say, nice hit, Garv. You actually followed through in that swing, and that might have been a double. But of course, it goes foul at the very last minute. Let's see how far off of it was. About 2 feet off. 2 feet off the line. But at least it was good contact. You know, a lot better than what I've seen in some of his previous at-bats. Top of the third, 0-0 Mariners and A's. We're going to need 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. Let's go. Jacob in the building. What's good, brother? Two-two pitch, chop foul. Chop foul again. Pitches inside, 3-2 count. Top of the third, 0-0 Mariners and A's. JP Sears on the mound, Mitch Garver in the box. Three-two pitch, pitches outside, and what do you know? The only way that we can actually get Mitch Garver to be an asset to the team if he gets hit by a pitch or a walk. And thank God he took a walk. So that's much better than him striking out, popping up, or grounding out. Mitch Garver to first. There we go. Next up, the MVP for the Mariners, the best player in the Mariner organization that I've ever seen, left fielder Victor Robles. Trash. Hitting into a double play. I mean, now we got to pray that he gets hit by a pitch or we get a walk here. Oh, they hit him. There we go. All right. I mean, obviously, Victor Robles, I can't count on you hitting. I can't count on you on defense, but I guess I can count on JP Sears on hitting you in the leg and hit by a pitch. Garver to second. Okay. Well, we're getting extremely lucky right now because in, 100 different at-bats, you probably have Garver and Robles both strike out, right? And then you get Garver with a walk, and then you get Robles hitting in the leg. We'll take that after that dumbass error in left field. Next up, second baseman, Ryan Bliss. I can see JP Sears losing a little bit of control here. Bliss. There we go. Safe at first. There we go. Bases loaded for the Mariners. Bunt single. That was beautiful. Let's go. Nice job, Ryan. Here we go. Time to rate. Next up, shortstop, 0 for 1, J.P. Crawford. And he's got the ability to go grand salami on the A's. Let's go. Not saying that's going to happen, but there's always a possibility with J.P. Let's go. The only reason I bring up the grand salami because he just did it recently. And a lot of times, when you got a player that starts off slow and then starts to heat up, I mean, if you keep giving a player that's got, home run ability, even from the leadoff spot, it's possible, and JP is one of those guys that, when you look at him, he kind of looks like kind of an Ichiro type of player where he's just going to get singles, every once in a while, maybe a double, and then every once in a long while, maybe a triple. But he does have 4 grand slams with the bases loaded, and he had one recently, so it's not like he's going to do it all the time, but does have the ability to get a nice RBI here, and hopefully does not hit into a double play. Behind in the count 0-2. But hell, at this point, I would take even getting hit by a pitch, bringing in a free run, taking a walk, bringing in a free run, sacrifice fly, bringing in 1, but we need to get on the board in this inning. And normally I'm not going to talk about grand salami talk, depending on who it is at bat. There's probably about 3 players on the Mariners that could actually cash in with an opportunity like this. 0-2 pitch from J.P. Sears to J.P. Crawford. Pitch is outside. JP versus a JP, which probably would mean that he's going to get out here. He'll probably end up striking out, but especially when you're behind in the count 0-2. Now it's 1-2. Come on, JP. 1-2 pitch. Struck him out. Nice pitch by JP Sears there. From one JP to another. I see you. 1 away. Next up for the Mariners, it's Demo Dylan Moore. Let's go, Demo. And we don't think that, Demo is not going to probably go for a grand salami, but he does have the ability to get a nice slick RBI, but struggling a little bit as of late. Hopefully he doesn't strike out like JP did. Top of the third, bases loaded, 1 out. 0-1 pitch. JP Sears to Dylan Moore. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. 1-1 count. Pitch is high, 2-1 count. And if you haven't smashed the like button just yet, please do. We got 34 people watching. We got over 20 on the YouTube side. So if you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do. We're at 12. We need 8 more to hit the goal to get to 20. And then we got another 15 people, 16 people watching on Twitter/X, but they have no like button on that end. 2-1 pitch. Demo. Should be a nice sac fly here. It's deep enough. There we go. It's caught. Tag up, go, go, go. Run tie. There we go. 1-0 Mariners. There we go. Nice job. Good job, Demo. And he's been struggling as of late. So, again, I thought he would be better higher in the lineup. We've had him around in the 8 and the 9 hole. We're bringing him up to the 2 hole to give Rojas the day off, and he cashes in for the Mariners. Nice job by putting Demo in the 2 hole. 1-0 Mariners. Next up for Seattle, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Bring that electricity. You homered last night. Let's do it again, baby. Right heads up. Let's go. 1-0 Mariners. Hell yeah. We'll take that. The last thing that we want is to have, leaving 3 stranded, leaving 2 stranded, leaving 2 stranded, leaving 3 stranded. You're only going to have so many opportunities with the Seattle Mariners. With runners in scoring position, Julio is batting a .362 average, a home run, and 19 ribbies, which is very good at this point in 2024. 1-0 pitch. Pitches inside, almost hits Julio on the knee like he did with Victor Robles. 2-0 count. Let's go, baby. Pitches outside, 3-0 count. There goes Julio, 3-1 count. .3-1 pitch from JP Sears to Julio. Come on, Julio, see the baseball. Crushes that one. But shifting foul. That's a good souvenir. Grab it! There we go. An Athletic fan. He's got a little nacho in his hand, and he got the baseball landing right in front of him. That's a great souvenir. I'm not sure if Athletic fans are really going to appreciate a Julio ball as much as a Mariner fan would, but... Count is full. Julio takes a timeout just like he did yesterday. And I had an amazing fan that recorded the Julio's home run behind the plate. And obviously I had it on my socials and whatnot. I shared it with a couple people, but the person had like front row seats, right behind home plate to be able to see Julio, up close and personal with that home run. It was awesome. I haven't seen an awesome camera angle for a home run from Julio like that ever. And very cool that guy ended up recording that moment last night. Top of the third, runners at first and second with 2 outs. We got a 3-2 count from JP Sears to Julio Rodriguez. Yeah, Yankees-Dodgers is always must-see TV. Julio crushes that one foul. His exit velo on a lot of these baseballs is crazy. Now Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, Giancarlo Stanton, Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman. That'll be something I'll definitely be tuning in. I'll definitely tune in. Maybe not watch the whole game, but when the key players are at bat, I'll definitely turn it on and see what's going on. 3-2 pitch. Sears to Julio. Another foul ball. Julio's working. Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X as well as YouTube. Let's get to 20 likes. And once we get to 20, let's get to 30. Shout out to the 36 people watching. Appreciate y'all. We're in the top of the third. 1-0 Mariners. Demo with a sac fly. Mitch Garber scored. And we have a 3-2 count with runners at first and second with 2 outs. JP Sears. 3-2 pitch to Julio. Man, Julio is just chopping these ones foul. That's like his 8th or 9th pitch in the count. Another foul ball. Grab it. Grab it. Grab it. Oh. There's like so little fans in Oakland that literally you have the best chance of getting a foul ball in any stadium. And especially, I guess if you're a fan of the opposing team, you have a good chance to be able to get like a superstar ball compared to, any other location. Because you usually only have a few hundred fans that are there. Like you got 30, 40, 50,000 capacity, and then you have like 900 people show up. It's just wild. Julio. Schumann to first. Got him. Shit. JP Sears gets out of that not fully unscathed. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error for the Mariners, but we have a 1-0 lead. Let's go. Could have been a little bit more, but we have to at least be happy that, we didn't hit into a double play and ended up leaving, all 3 stranded. So, again, again, not ideal. Would have been nicer to be able to pick up 2 or 3, but we can't get greedy. You know, after getting guys stranded, obviously, last night, we'll take a 1-0 lead in the middle of the third inning. Let's go to the bottom of the third. Let's see who's up for the Athletics. Next up for the A's in the 9-hole, shortstop, Max Schumann. And that's the reason why I don't want guys like Demo and Hollywood Josh Rojas in the 9-hole, because by the time you get your first at-bat, it's like the third inning. You might only get 3 at-bats. So if you're actually a decent hitter, you know, you're not going to get 4 or 5 chances like everyone else in the top of the lineup. If you're in the 9-hole, you might only get 3, you know, and I guess that's good if you're a shitty hitter, but if you're a decent hitter, why are you putting a decent hitter with only 3 opportunities when other guys that are shitty are getting 4 or 5? Make it make sense. Batting second, 1 for 1, third baseman, the former Mariner, Abraham Toro, throwing up the A. And batting third in the 2-hole, left fielder, Miguel Andújar. Let's take a look at JP Sears' numbers so far. 3 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 3 Ks. And we ended up getting that sacrifice fly, so nothing too crazy for JP. So far, so good, really, for him. And let's take a quick look at Brian Wu before he gets out there. Brian Wu, 2 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, no walks, 3 Ks. Let's go. 3 Ks apiece, but we still got Brian Wu, and he's got a good opportunity to get 1 or 2 in this inning. Let's go. And if you're just tuning in the top of the third, Demo sacrifice fly to left. Garb scored. Mitch Garber, 1-0 Seattle. 1 hit for the A's, 1 hit for the Mariners. Let's go. Let's pick up the pace, baby. Pitch in the zone for a strike. 0-1 count. Let's go, baby. Chop foul, behind in the count, 0-2. That's exactly where you want Brian Wu to be at, or any pitcher. You know, if you got him in an 0-2 count, you can be very deceptive. You can throw garbage, you know, way outside into the dirt. You can jam the hitter inside, you know, or if you have no fear in your schemes on Pittsburgh, you'll just go right down the middle, 101 miles an hour 3 times in a row, and even strike out guys like Shohei Ohtani. But remember, you can't do that every at-bat, because the next at-bat, what did Ohtani do? He went yard. So Skeens has no fear, but there's not a lot of guys like Skeens in Major League Baseball nowadays. The Pirates got 2 of them. They got 2 guys that can pitch over 100. Pretty wild. Popped up. Schumann to Haniger. 1 away. There we go. Nice catch by Haniger. Next up for the Athletics, third baseman, Abraham Toro. Toro 1 for 1 with a double in the first inning. 275 average, 5 homers, 21 ribbies in 2024. Pitch is in the zone for a strike. Wu 42 pitches in, and we got Sears at 52. 0-1 pitch from Wu to Toro. Pitches inside. Close to the strike zone, but called ball. I wonder if we have a different ump in this particular game as well. It seems like the ump is calling it differently each game. Obviously, it's not the same guy, but you can definitely tell, you know, with certain umps how they're going to end up calling the strike zone. And game 1 compared to game number 2, and now game number 3, each ump has a different type of style, and I think this ump in game number 3 is the best that we've had so far. In game 1 and game number 2, they were terrible. I mean, the strike zone was like as big as a mile. You know, this one, seems like it's about, you know, pretty close to accurate. There we go. Another punch out by Brian Wu. 4 Ks, baby. Nice job, Brian. We appreciate you, baby. 4 Ks for Brian. Woo! Let's go. 6 more, baby. Nice job, Brian. Way to bring that electricity. and you're really going to be a big part of, the Mariner fan base, we already understand that, you might be the 5-hole pitcher, but in our eyes, you're the number one. You might be slotted in the 5-hole, but you're the most consistent pitcher on the Mariners in 2024. So in my eyes, it's not Luis Castillo that's in the 1. If anything, Luis Castillo's the 5. Brian Wu is the 1. Chop foul, behind in the count, 0-2 for Andujar. Let's go, baby. And as many hitters that Brian Wu can get in 0-2, he will smoke them. And he doesn't have any fear. And again, last year, he would be giving up 4 or 5 runs a game, 2 or 3 homers. He's not that player anymore. He's honed in, and I love it. Popped up, should be a routine play there as long as it doesn't go to Victor Robles. Ryan Bliss is there, and he caught it. There we go. 3 up and 3 down. Nice job, baby. I like what I see out of Brian Wu. That's my guy, baby. Nice job, Brian. You're a stud. End of the 3rd inning, 1-0 Mariners. Let's go to the top of the 4th. Leading off for the Mariners, first baseman Ty France, 0 for 1. Batting second, 0 for 0 with a base on ball. Catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And batting third, 0 for 1, Mitch Haniga. And like I mentioned multiple times on the stream, make sure you guys are taking care of your mental health. Addiction, depression, anxiety, these are things that a lot of us are going through on a daily basis or have in the past. So if you feel like you're slipping a little bit into the darkness and you're not yourself, make some minor adjustments to your daily routine. Cut back on the partying and the beer and the booze. Maybe cut back on the fast food and eat a little bit healthier. Go for a walk. Go for a little bit more exercise than you normally do. Listen to music. Spend time with friends. Watch some shows. Go to a movie. Make the day worthwhile and make sure that you're making those minor adjustments to your daily routine. And if you do that, you can come out the other end a lot faster and you can win the day. Big facts. Let's go, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Let's get to 20 likes and see if we're there yet. We got to be getting close. We got 30 people in the building watching. Appreciate y'all. We need 6 more people to smash the like button and we'll be out the goal. So if you haven't done it yet, please do. 5 more people. Thank you to that person that just did. We need 5 more. Or to grab one of the 15 people that are watching on Twitter/X, come to the YouTube channel, smash the like button, hang out and stay if you'd like, or go back. And so that way we can get that number up. And we've been doing very good on that. We were getting before about 15 to 20. Now we're getting about 25 to 50. And a lot of times we're hitting 30 to 50, which is nice. It definitely is helping, the subs, the views, the shares, the donos. It's helping all around. It makes it, some people think it doesn't make a difference if you like a stream or not, but it really does. YouTube sees all of the analytics and the metrics, and it really does matter. Top of the 4th, 1-0 Mariners. 1-1 count for JP Sears to Ty France. Pitches outside, 2-1 count. JP, so far so good, considering a guy that's 4-4 with an ERA of 4.01. Pitches outside, 3-1 count. But anything is possible in baseball. Hell, the pitcher we went up last night had an ERA of 6 and pitched a no-hitter all the way up until the 7th inning. So anything is possible against the Mariners. 3-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss for Ty France. Count is full, 3-2 count. Come on, Ty, focus. And I don't like these Navy jerseys. We have a shitty record. We're like 500 when we wear these fucking jerseys. And then when we wear them every fucking day in the series, go back to the grays. We're much better in the gray uniform. Gray top, gray bottoms. Big punch out. There goes Ty France. 1 away. Nice job by JP Sears. We'll make sure we give him his flowers. Nice job, JP. I'm not a hater. JP Sears with a K. That's 4 Ks for JP Sears, 4 Ks for Brian Wu. I won't say it's a pitching duel yet, but we'll see if they get a few more. And we have a few more innings before they more than likely will get pulled. Next up for the Mariners, my favorite catcher, big dumper catcher, Cal Raleigh. Let's go, Cal. Pitches inside. 1-1 count. Or are they saying he went around? No, he didn't. That's a 1-1 count. And plus, Cal Raleigh is going to be much better, batting left-handed than right-handed, but he's not terrible, being a switch hitter. Are they saying it hit him, or they say he swung and then it hit him? Now they're doing a review here. JP Sears hit Cal in the leg. He went for a check swing, but he held up, it looks like. It's close. I mean, the bat gets extended, but he's just trying to protect himself in that leg. So there goes Cal Raleigh to first. We'll take that. That's surprising that JP Sears is hitting so many guys, but he is a lefty. And sometimes lefty, have a little issue with control. Next up, right fielder Mitch Haniger, 0 for 1, grounded out into a DP, a double play. Don't do it again, baby. Don't do it again. Come on, Mitch. 0-1 pitch. Pitch is inside. And JP Sears has been very, very inside. He's not going away from the batters. He's trying to jam the batters. But the problem is when you try to jam the batters in the batter's box, if you don't have control, you're going to hit them in the knee or the leg or the thigh, and that's what's happened, or on the toe. Chin. Oh, almost hit him in the face. Holy shit. Cal Raleigh steals a bag to second, and Mitch Haniger almost got hit in the face by that last pitch for JP Sears. Watch out. Golly. Good thing that he's got good athleticism and instincts there to be able to move out of the way. Golly. Come on, Hanny. 2-1 pitch. Pitch is outside. 2-2 count. And JP should just be able to count on, his outside pitch, because he's going to get a lot of hitters that are going to get baited. Just like Haniger on that last pitch. Stop going inside and trying to jam them. You're not going to get the strikeout that way. You're going to get the strikeouts away from the batter, not inside, unless you're trying to jam them for just a little grounder. Pitch is high. 3-2 count. Count is full. Come on, Hanny. Haniger, big swing and a miss. Got him. JP Sears with another K, number 5. All right, JP. Normally when we say JP, we're talking about JP Crawford. We're talking about JP Sears right here. All right, JP, I see you. That's a fire photo. Next up for the Mariners, DHing for Seattle, Mitch Garver, 0 for 0 with a run and a base on ball. See if Mitch Garver can do something here. Pitch in the zone for a strike, 0-1 count. Top of the 4th, 1-0 Mariners. Pitch in the zone on the corner for a strike, behind in the count, 0-2. Any predictions for game 1 tonight? Boston going to win at home and the crowd will go crazy? Or is Luka going to hit another game winner on Boston? He already did 2 of those in the regular season. So the games have been pretty close. But I guess it really depends on how, what kind of electricity and fire Luka and Kyrie get to early, and then what we get from the crowd from Boston. Because the crowd is definitely going to will them to some victories at home, but how many? My gut, even though I think Dallas is going to win the championship, my gut says that Boston might win game 1, just based off the crowd environment tonight. But we will find out. And I think it's possible Boston even wins the first couple games, but they might end up losing the next 4 after that. That wouldn't shock me, that particular scenario. Boston winning the first 2 games, and Stephen A. Smith and all these fucking idiots saying that Boston's going to sweep or they're going to end up winning in 5. And then obviously, Mavericks will be the Mavericks with Kyrie and Luka. But I think it doesn't really matter for the Mavericks if they win the first 2 games or not. I think they're good enough to win the next 4 after, or win 4 out of 5 afterwards, in the series. 3-2 count is full to Mitch Garver. But there's been a lot of teams that have gotten down 0-2 in the finals and come back and won 4 straight. So it's not like it's impossible. Garver! Yes! Go, go, go! Slide! Yeah! Mitch Garver with an RBI. Cal Raleigh going from second to home, and he's not the fastest guy. They call him Big Dumper for a reason. Let's go. Cal is home. 2-0 Mariners. Hell yeah. Yeah. Next up, left fielder Victor Robles. Nice job, Garv. And he's been struggling like a motherfucker. Probably, the worst player on the starting lineup for the Mariners since the beginning of the season. Polanco's been slightly better, but he hasn't been very good either. So it's nice to be able to see a guy that has been struggling. Even Scott Servais has put him at catcher, backup catcher, to get him some more opportunities to be able to catch and to be able to get, those at-bats. So that way he feels like he's a part of the game instead of just being a DH all year. And it didn't work yesterday, but today he came through. Nice job, Mitch Garver. You're still not one of the guys I really like on the team, but I'll always take good production. And awesome. 2-0 Seattle. Top of the 4th, 2 outs. Runner at first. Victor Robles in the box. Pitch is inside. Almost hit him again. 1-0 count. Victor Robles batting 115. Is that good? 0 homers, 2 ribbies. I mean, he was a decent player a few years ago for the Nats when they ended up having their little World Series run 5-6 years ago. But I mean, what has Victor Robles done as of late? Not a whole lot. Throw to first. Got him. We leave one stranded, but we bring one in, and that's what matters, even though it's only 1 run at a time, but we'll take it. 2-0 Mariners. Let's go to the bottom of the 4th. Good shit. Take a look at JP Sears' numbers so far. And it's not like JP has been playing terrible. He's been a little out of control. He's hit a couple batters, walked a couple guys, but overall nothing too crazy. It's still, Athletics could still come back. 2-0 Seattle in the bottom of the 4th. 4 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 Ks. Not bad. Not bad. He's already 75 pitches in, though. That's good for the Mariners. All right, JP. Next up for the Athletics, 0 for 1, center fielder J.J. Bleday. I do like J.J. Bleday's game. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a K. DHing for the Athletics, Brent Rooker. Brent Rooker would make a good Seattle Mariner. He'd be a better DH than what we have now. And batting third, 0 for 1, right fielder Seth Brown. Calvin in the building. What's good? Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. Let's go. See if we've gotten a little bit closer to 20 likes. If you haven't smashed the like button just yet, please do. Do your boy a solid, Calvin. Smash that like button for your boy. We got 34 people watching. We still need 4 more people to get to 20. We're at 16. There we go. Now we're at 17. 3 more to hit the goal to hit 20. And then once we hit 20, we'll shoot for 25 or 30. Let's go. Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X as well as YouTube. Congratulations, brother. Next up in the box for the Athletics, in the bottom of the fourth, Brian Wu with a one-hitter so far. Center fielder, J.J. Bleday. Appreciate that, Calvin. Let's go, M's. Bottom of the fourth, 2-0 Mariners. Number one pitcher on the Mariners staff, even though he's a five-hole pitcher, Brian Wu. He's won all 5 of his starts in 2024. 2-0 record, ERA, very, very low. Came to the game with an ERA of 1.30, but now, at this point, he's down to 1.17. Let's go, Brian fucking Wu. Pitch is high, 1-1 count to J.J. Bleday. Definitely good vibes for you and the Mariners. I agree. I got it, obviously Team Store, Mariners. And my buddy went to, they sell them, at the ballpark, and then obviously, Team Store. Got to be careful of some of the other like off-brand Mariner sites, because some of those will scam you and whatnot. But, and then I got one of the All-Star chains. My buddy and his dad ended up going to the All-Star game in Seattle last year, and I actually have an All-Star chain. I've never wore it. It's sitting in the box. But once we do the All-Star stream, I'll probably bust it out and I'll wear it for that particular game only. I mean, we're the Northwest Sports Fanatics, right? So I got to make sure we're representing with the Oregon Duck chains and the Mariner chains, and we want to make sure that we're repping. We got to rep properly. Yeah, they were kind of hard to come by though for the chains. There was a line, and my buddy had to wait in line for a little while to get it, but. He's like my best friend, so I already knew that he was going to hook me up. I also got an All-Star Game t-shirt that I've never worn that's sitting in the box here as well. So I got a couple pieces of merch, from the All-Star Game. I was supposed to go, but I didn't have the finances to go last year, unfortunately. So I told my buddy to take his dad, and they had a great time. But they always will bring me back some merch and whatnot. But me and my buddy Justin are going to go see the Orioles on the 4th of July. Super excited about that. And then by the time I get back, it'll be still in time to go see fireworks if I want. That one goes foul. But I'll probably just spend time with my pup, and it'll be a long drive because we're going to be going early in the morning at like 7 to 8 a.m. We'll get there at like 11. The game is at 1. It'll be over at 4, and then we'll get back around 7:30. So. And normally my 4th of July experience is not good. A lot of times, there's all this hype about 4th of July, but unless you actually have plans with friends or you have a party to go to or a barbecue or some venue to go to, a lot of times I feel like the 4th of July is the most like overrated, overhyped holiday where there's all this excitement, but for most people, it ends up not being exactly what they thought that 4th of July was going to be. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to, make out with your girlfriend or find someone to get like romantically involved and watch the fireworks together. But I don't know. I just have never really, had that many good memories. Like I've had some good ones, but a lot of them have just been kind of meh, like go and, drive 45 minutes to go watch a 15-minute show. Then it takes another 30 minutes to get out of the parking lot and then like an hour to get home. Sometimes it's just not worth it, to go with all that hustle and bustle to watch 15 or 30 minutes of fireworks, depending on how far you have to drive. But I mean, if you got like a party to go to or like a barbecue or like a, somewhere to hang out afterwards or before, then that's a little different. So I've had a few good ones, but I feel like 4th of July most of the time has been a disappointment in my life. But this year I'm going to go to the Mariner game against the Orioles, and I'm super excited. I have not seen Gunnar Henderson or Adley Rutschman in person. Obviously besides Adley Rutschman on the Beavers for Oregon State when he was winning championships for the Beavers. So we might get our ass kicked in that game, but I'm hoping that we can come out with a dub. Oh, it's your birthday. Well, that's good then. You actually have something to get excited about there. Pitches outside, 3-2 count. My birthday's in May, so. But if my birthday was around 4th of July too, then it would be a little bit more exciting. But I don't know. I just feel not only my experience, but from people that I've talked to, like a lot of times the fireworks show isn't as good as what people thought, or, you know, you had these big plans of some kind of barbecue or party and then it got canceled. I don't know. It just feels like a lot of times we hype up 4th of July on how amazing it's going to be. And sometimes it ends up being amazing, but other times it ends up being a little bit of a disappointment. But I'm going to have a great one this year, and I'm going to try to get a ball or two. I mean, I got a good seat. You know, we're going to be sitting around 10 to 15 rows back, you know, off first base. So right in that prime foul ball area. And I've gotten 5 baseballs so far in my life, 2 in AAA for the Portland Beavers, who no longer exist. That was the Minnesota Twins affiliate in the 80s and early 90s. JP, throw to first. Got him. 2 away. And I've gotten 3 baseballs for the Mariners in only 7 games. I've only been to like 7 or 8 games, but I've gotten 3 baseballs. I got a Kike Hernandez, I got a Julio Rodriguez rookie ball, and I got an Aaron Judge ball when he hit the 62 home run. So far, so good for me, but I would love to add like an Adley Rushman ball, Gunnar Henderson ball, or a Cal Raleigh ball. You know, if I could end up getting a Mariner player since I already have a Julio, so but we will see. And I'm sitting on the aisle, so I always have the ability to go up and down about 5 rows. And usually I know where to sit in the certain sections in Seattle where it's going to give us the best shot to be able to get a ball. But again, I've gotten a ball on the visiting side. That's how I got the Aaron Judge ball. So, you know, it doesn't really matter. I don't know. The sports gods love me for some reason. And as long as you pay attention, you know, and you're not on your phone and you're not eating out of your nacho helmet and not slamming a bunch of beers, and you pay attention, right, and you're watching the game, you got about a 0.5 second, you know, reaction time to be able to react. And if you're paying attention, you'll have a chance, if you're lucky enough, for a baseball to come in your area. End of the 4th inning, 2-0 Mariners. Let's look at the stat line here for Brian Wu. All right, Brian Wu, 4 innings pitched, 1 hit, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, 4 Ks, 1 hitter going into the 5th inning. Nice job. You're not going to be able to have stats like that from George Kirby, Luis Castillo, Bryce Miller, or Logan Gilbert. I'll tell you that. At least not as late. You know, maybe in the past, but not lately. All right, let's go to the top of the 5th inning. Leading off for the Mariners in the 9-hole. 1 for 1. Second baseman, Ryan Bliss. Batting second, 0 for 2 with the K. Shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Let's go, J.P. And batting third, 0 for 1. Third baseman, it's Demo Dylan Moore. Oh, good. And it's your birthday. So, I mean, regardless if it's 4th of July or not, just the fact that you get to see some fireworks around your birthday, that's a bonus, you know? It's like fireworks for yourself, you know, fireworks for celebrating the birth of you. So that's cool. Cespedes, nice. And the crazy thing is I've gotten a baseball. The 3 baseballs that I've gotten it with a different person each time. One with my dad that I predicted 10 years before, one with my boy Preston, and then one with my boy Justin. So, you know, it's almost like it was tailor-made, you know, for me to go and have a memory with a different person each time while I got a ball. Kind of weird, but it is what it is. Top of the 5th with 1 out, 2-0 Mariners. Next up, J.P. Crawford after Bliss rounds out. Go, JP. Pitch is low into the dirt. 1-0 count. Let's go, JP. Let's bring some electricity to that bat, baby. We're winning this game today. I knew after that loss yesterday, we weren't going to lose today. especially with Brian Wu on the mound. Like I said, you got to have a guy that you can count on. I can't really count on Logan Gilbert, Luis Castillo, Bryce Miller, and George Kirby. George Kirby's last start a couple days ago, he had 9 Ks, but we almost lost. So, I mean, at least he got close to 10 Ks, but I don't trust those other 4 pitchers like I trust Brian Wu. So, until I see Brian Wu get fucked up and have a terrible start, he's going to be the #1 guy for the Mariners on the mound. I mean, the stats back it up. 5 wins, 2-0, ERA, close to 1. I mean, who's pitching like that for the Mariners? Nobody. Logan Gilbert was a little bit early in the season, but not as of late. JP, right up the middle, past the second baseman. That's my boy. That's my boy. Yeah. Nice job, JP. Nice infield single from my boy, J.P. Crawford. Next up, third baseman, 0 for 1 with an RBI and a K. It's Demo Dylan Moore. Get an RBI and bring some electricity to that bat. Demo, let's go. Demo pops that one foul. Finding the count 0-1. Cespedes was kind of like Yasiel Puig. They had moments where you were like, wow, these guys are raking. I mean, it didn't last for a long period of time, but everyone remembers when Cespedes was just, freakishly big with those arms like Yasiel Puig. And, they had a few moments where they were must-see TV for a few years. Maybe not for a long period of time, but for a brief moment, they were very, very exciting. Pitches outside. Now, JP Sears starting to get a little tired. We'll see if he ends up going the full 6 innings or not. He's already 84 pitches in, 4.1 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 Ks. Pitches inside, 2-2 count. At least he's not hitting batters left and right like he was before. A little wild, but he's starting to find himself a little bit here. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. And we always try to shoot for 100 in donos. We'll see if we get anyone that shows some love on that end. And obviously 20 likes to 30 to 40 to 50, depending on what we have in the room. On deck, Julio Rodriguez, 0 for 2 with a K. Top of the 5th with a runner at first, 2-0, Seattle. 3-2 pitch from JP Sears to Dylan Moore. Chop foul, 3-2 count. Come on, Demo. Three-two pitch to Demo, struck him out. Nice pitch by JP. And we're not haters here, so we'll give him his love. Nice job by JP Sears there. K number 6 for JP, 88 pitches in. He's getting tired, but he's still wheeling, and he's still dealing. Next up for the Mariners, Julio Rodriguez, 0 for 2 with a K. Come on, Julio. Had a big home run late last night to get us to a 2-1 game, but just not enough after that home run for us to come back and win. Let's go, Julio. Let's go, J-Rod. Big swing and a miss, big rip, low and inside, 1-1 count. Julio always chasing. Mason Miller, another guy that can throw, 100 miles an hour plus. So for him to have that exit velo of 102 and some change to be able to go yard, it was the 3rd hardest hit baseball over 101 miles an hour in the StatCast era. So it was huge. DXPO, baby. $10 holla. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. First dono to the channel by DXPO. Thank you so much. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks. A little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. That's a good question. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of talk, about Pete Alonso and Vlad Jr. And Bo Bichette. But honestly, guys that are a little bit lower in the lineup, even a guy on the opposite side, like a guy like this, Brett Rooker at DH, if we could get him on the cheap, obviously that could be someone that we would be maybe more realistically targeting that we could get instead of trying to trade the whole farm system away for a guy like Pete Alonso, Vlad Jr., or Bo Bichette, and it might end up being just a rental. Why would we want to give up Montez or Harry Ford or any of the other, Colt Emerson and all these studs that we have? We have 7 or 8 in the top 100 in the farm system out of all 30 teams in Major League Baseball. Us and the Cubs up to yesterday had 7, but we had another player that just went up. So I think we're at number 8. We have 8 players in the top 100 in the minor league system. So honestly, even if we don't make a move, I think that big swing and a miss, Julio strikes out, end of the 5th inning, 2-0 Seattle. But even if we don't make a move, I think that we can still make the win the AL West. I still think we can make an ALDS or an ALCS or possible World Series this year, next year, or the following year. The next 5 to 10 years, there'll be a few opportunities for the Mariners. But with that being said, with no Matt Brash, we need another guy in the bullpen. So if we make a move for a guy like that, we brought in Bowman, from the Orioles, and we have Stanek and Taylor Saucedo and a lot of these guys. Santos will be coming back from the injury, but we don't trust a lot of the guys in the bullpen except the closer, maybe Andres Munoz, right? I would like to see another guy in the bullpen, but we need bats. But again, I don't want to mortgage the whole future, for Harry Ford and Emerson and Montez and all these amazing players that we have just for, a rental. Now, if we were going to end up trading a few of these guys away and then we ended up getting, like a Bo Bichette type of player, and then he re-signed with us and then we were with him long term, then I would maybe, slightly consider something like that, or like a Luis Robert, Jr., or someone like that. But again, it has to make sense. And I don't want to give up, 3 prospects out of the 8 guys that are in the top 100 and a player on the roster, and then we bring in a guy. And what happens if we do all that, bring in a Bo Bichette or a Vlad Jr., and then they suck and they end up batting like 150? Then we ended up not only fucking up our future, but then we ended up trading for a guy that's a name, but he's not producing. So, we have to be able to look at it like that. So I'm not really sure if I have a specific name to be able to look out for. I know Army, that was in here before, he has a few names that he's been looking at that are lower name guys that we possibly could be looking at, like, De La Cruz, not Ellie, but, there's a few other guys that are kind of floating around, lower name guys that we can get on the cheap. But again, if we end up pulling the trigger for a bigger name guy, we just don't want to give up our future, because a lot of these guys, they say, well, we don't really know if any of those minor league guys are going to pan out. True. But when's the last time the Seattle Mariners had 8 in the top 100, and we have the most in Major League Baseball as far as players? The Cubs right now have 7. The Mariners have 8. So popped up. Got Victor Robles. At least he doesn't fucking fumble the bag on that one. 1 away. But I would think that, a lot of the names are big, but I don't really want them. I don't want Luis Robert. I don't want Bo Bichette. I don't want Vlad. I know they're big names, but I just don't know about the chemistry with the team, if it would work out or not. And again, I don't want to give up, 3 or 4 guys that could end up being potential starters for us in the next couple of years when we're probably better suited for a World Series run. Not saying that we can't make a World Series run this year. I definitely think, the Yankees, Orioles, and Mariners, top to bottom, I think those are the 3 strongest. You still got the Guardians and the Royals and the Twins. They'll be floating around, and obviously the Texas Rangers. But I think right now, Yankees, Orioles, Mariners are the 3 best in the American League, even though some of those other teams have a better record than the Mariners by a couple games. But I still think that those are the top 3 teams in the American League. The Braves lost Strider and Ronald Acuna Jr., so they can still make the playoffs, but I don't think anyone thinks the Braves are going to go all the way. So you got the Dodgers, you got the Braves, you got the Phillies being the best team in the National League as of today, right? And then there'll always be a surprise team like the Phillies and the Diamondbacks were late, a team that gets hot and healthy in the National League. Who is it going to be this year? It was Philadelphia 2 years ago, Arizona Diamondbacks last year. This year, I don't know if we really have an answer. Maybe the Brewers, maybe the Cubs. I'm not too sure, but we'll have to kind of wait and see. But that's my input, DXDO. But again, more than likely, if the Mariners do make a move, it's not going to be for a big name player because they're going to want too much in return. And we're not going to want to, finance and give away the whole farm just for a guy that is a name. Of course, it would be cool, to have a Bo Bichette, Luis Robert, or a Vlad Jr. on the Seattle Mariners. Don't get me wrong. But what type of money are we going to have to pay? Is it a rental? Are we only going to have him for this year for like 3 or 4 months and then he's going to go somewhere else? That's not worth it to give up half of the farm for a guy for 3 months. I mean, Seattle's good, but we're not, in a position where, we get this guy, we're winning the World Series. I mean, we're not at that point yet. So our hitting is not very good. We're the number one strikeout team out of any team that's played in the last 100 years. So we still got a lot to improve. Pitching, bullpen, and being a better hitting team. I mean, a guy that had an ERA of 6 had a fucking no-hitter going into the 7th inning. What does that tell you about the Mariners? Even though we have names, J.P. Crawford, Julio Cal, doesn't mean that a lot of these guys are batting even close to 300. We have 0 300 hitters. So, but again, if we could get fair compensation for a guy like Vlad or Bo, and then we could have them long-term, then I'm on board. But I don't want to give up too much, and that's going to be the problem because I think that the teams, like the Blue Jays and, Luis Robert and Bo Bichette, Vlad Jr., they're going to want a lot in return based off the name recognition of those guys. So, and the Mariners are typically cheap, right? So they're not normally going to be going. I mean, look who we brought in. Everyone's like, oh, Shohei Ohtani. Oh, Blake Snell. And Blake Snell's ass this year, right? But what happened? Who did we bring in? Jorge Polanco and Mitch Garver. So if we're bringing in names like that, trading Luke Raley for Jose Cabanero, so we're not really bringing in superstar names. We're trying to find value. Lower name guys that have good stats, and then we hope that when we bring them over, they'll do it here in Seattle like they did on their former teams. The only problem is Mitch Garver on the Rangers isn't the same player on Seattle, and Jorge Polanco on the Twins is not the same player in Seattle either. So it shows you, even though you go for that money ball approach, sometimes it's a failure. Polanco and Garv have been a failure so far this year. Big swing and a miss. Nice job, Brian Wu. Bottom of the 5th, 2 outs, runner at first, 2-0 Mariners. Pitch is high out of the zone, 1-0 count. Yeah, but you also have to realize too, Calvin, no matter how much you love a player, it's a business. And that's what it comes down to. Like when you watch your favorite NFL team and then you see an amazing player like Keenan Allen, first ballot Hall of Famer, going for a 4th, a 5th, a 6th, or a 7th round player. And you're saying to yourself, how the hell is a Hall of Famer going for a 6th round player, a 6th round pick? But again, it's all about business, money, and a lot of times people recognize the skill a player has, but it comes down to salary and money. And sometimes people can't afford a particular player anymore and they have to move on. So you have to think about it that end. You got to look at it from a business aspect, not just a player aspect and their skill set. It has to be about the money as well. Like what they're due and what they're going to be due and what they're owed in the future. Bottom of the 5th, 1-2 pitch. Schumann popped up to Julio. Should be a regular out here. No fly zone. Here we go. The defense behind the no fly zone and Julio Rodriguez. End of the 5th, 2-0 Mariners. But if I had to put money on it, on what's going to end up happening, I would probably say that we make no moves, right? Or if we do make moves, it'll be lower name guys, maybe a bullpen lower name guy that no one's heard of, or maybe a player or two
on a shitty team, that has a good batting average that could help us out. Like a Brent Rooker at DH. If you look at his numbers, he's not the best player necessarily on the team overall, but he has one of the top three. Him and JJ Bleday are pretty solid. And if you look at those guys, as well as Abraham Toro, but with Brent Rooker and what he provides at DH, that could be intriguing. But even guys like Brent Rooker, who's a no-name guy that most people don't even know who the fuck he is, right? Even Brent Rooker and the compensation to get him might be too much. So again, and if you look at the guys that we have in the farm system, some of these guys in the farm might end up being our next superstar. We don't want to get rid of, the next Alex Rodriguez or the next Adam Jones, and then trading for a guy that is a name now, but might not be a name on Seattle. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. But it wouldn't surprise me, if we do nothing, or we do minimal and we end up getting players that are lower name guys that have good stats, not trading the farm for a, Vlad Jr. or a Bo Bichette, even though I know a lot of fans would be like, let's do it. But again, a lot of those fans don't realize who we have in the minor league system. And again, not everyone is a hardcore fan that goes deep like that, that understands like how good we are in the minor league system. So. Yeah, I've never seen our farm system this good before. So, and again, people will say, this is the best time to trade a guy because it's like the highest value a Harry Ford is ever going to have is like right now. But again, in a few years, we have to decide if we're going to end up keeping Cal or not. But I want Cal and Harry Ford on the team together. I don't want to get rid of Cal Raleigh. I don't want to get rid of Harry Ford, but we'll have to wait and see what the organization thinks. They don't really like to make a lot of moves and they don't like to spend a whole lot of money. Top of the sixth, 2-0 Mariners. Next up for the M's, Ty France. JP Sears has been great, man. Ty pops that one up. Drifting foul. Wow, that was close. We're at 10, 90 to go. Appreciate you, DXBO. And those are the type of individuals that you don't even know that are on the stream because a lot of times they're not chatting, and unless they donate or chat, we don't even know that they're there. So I really do appreciate anyone that comes through to like, sub, donate, comment, share, and first dono to the channel and making it a 10, not a 1. That's big. So I really do appreciate that. I got a lot of bills. I got to take care of Paisley. I ended up getting dog food today. It was $80. So it's like I got a lot of bills that are due. Cell phone coming up here in a couple days. Internet bill coming up. So any type of support that we can get is greatly appreciated since I do this full time. Popped up. Abraham Toro's got it. 2 away. Oh, I appreciate that. First stream, first dono. Appreciate that. I've been grinding for a long time. 12 years. I've been on YouTube for 8. It took me 10 years to go full time. And I've been full-time now for 3 years. So appreciate you, man, very, very much. I'm always going to give you a unique type of vibe and stream compared to anyone else that's doing any type of sports. Baseball, basketball, football, hockey, wrestling. I do it all. But I appreciate the love and support to the channel. If you haven't subbed to the channel yet, I would hope that I would earn that from you at some point if you haven't done it already. And appreciate the $10 dono, that good generosity. Appreciate you. 0-1 pitch from Sears to Haniger. Haniger blasts that one foul. Behind the count 0-2. Let's go, Mitch. And I've been watching Mariner baseball since 1985, so I know I look young, but I'm 42. So I've been watching since I was about 3-4 years old. So, I've been through it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Haniger going back to the warning track and caught. 3 up and 3 down. Let's go to the bottom of the 6th inning. 2-0 Mariners. Brian Wu with a 2-hitter. Nice. I appreciate that very, very much. Now you asked me that question. Do you have an idea? That as far as if you're a Mariner fan, that who you would be looking at or who you would want? Obviously, you could just look on, ESPN and on Twitter/X and Instagram and Facebook, and they're going to come up with the big name guys like Vlad Jr., Bo Bichette, Luis Robert, guys like that. But I think we need to be looking at lower name guys like Brent Rooker, as maybe more of a realistic option, which may not even be an option because I highly doubt the A's are going to want to get rid of him. And the A's are drastically improved this year, even though their record is 25-38. If you actually know the A's and you've been following them, and in most cases, in years back, they were like last place. So to go from last place to 4th place to 3rd place to 4th place, and they're kind of going up and down. They may not be a playoff contender like the Rangers and the Mariners this year, but I'm not an idiot. I've watched and I pay attention to what they're doing, and they are drastically improved. It seems like they have a different type of swagger and vibe. And in close games where they would lose in years past, they're fighting it out and actually winning some of those matchups. They're scratching, they're clawing, and they're trying to do whatever they can. They're still not a playoff team based off their roster, but they're playing with motivation. And I think that's what most A's fans want once they end up making the move to Vegas. But I definitely appreciate that. Yeah. Again, I'm not going to be a hater. I mean, I follow all teams as if they were my own. So it takes a lot of discipline with a lot of film study, a lot of reading, to be able to keep up on not just the Mariners, but to keep up on the league as a whole. So. I mean, if I was such a hater, I wouldn't even be throwing up photos or talking about the opposing team. And that's what typically you get in a baseball stream, basketball, football. It's like whoever's calling it is going to be extremely biased for their team and their players, but don't really give the same type of love and appreciation for greatness on the opposite side. But I will always do that. I mean, one of the main things about the channel is not being biased. It's not necessarily about the name on the front of the jersey. It's a name on the back. And just because a player is not on your team doesn't mean that he's not great. Big facts. What's going on here? We got a mound visit. What's going on with Brian Wu and Scott Service here? They don't want Brian Wu to get ejected. What happened here? Next up, 1 for 2 with a K, third baseman Abraham Toro. Batting second, left fielder Miguel Andujar. And batting third, center fielder J.J. Bleday. Really like J.J. Bleday and Brent Rooker for this team. Pitch is in the zone for a strike, 1-1 count. Plus, when I'm trying to do, 140 games on live stream out of 162, you start to become familiar when you call so many games with the other teams. And as long as you're not blind and you're paying attention, you can tell, who are the guys that are rising. The cream of the crop, regardless if it's the A's, the Angels, the Rangers, or the Astros or the Mariners in the American League West. Good outing for J.P. Sears. 6-inning pitch, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 8 Ks. Fucking solid. 2-0. I mean, what can you say about that? If they could just get a little bit of run support, they would be right there. And there's still time. And if you haven't smashed the like button just yet, please do. Are we at 20 yet? I hope we are. We're almost 2 hours in. There we go. Nice punch out there by Brian Wu. We got 31 people in the building. We're at 20. There we go. Appreciate everyone that has smashed the like button. We're at 21. We need 9 more to get to 30. Let's get 9 more before the stream ends in about 45 minutes. Whether that's people that are watching on Twitter/X, hopping to the YouTube channel, hitting the like button and going back, or hanging out with us. You can't chat on the Twitter side yet. There's no like button and there's no donate button, unfortunately. I mean, unless you do Cash App, but that's not like an actual donation button. So. Bottom of the 6, 2-0 Mariners. Brian Wu, I see you wheeling and dealing. Keep it moving. Brian Wu up to 6 Ks, trying to catch up to JP Sears' 8 before he goes out. 2-0 count to Miguel Andujar. Andujar. Throw to first. Yeah, I mean, I spend quite a bit of time, going through the rumor mill, but a lot of times the rumor mill is just rumors. Just people out there trying to gain some attention on social media, whether they have credentials or not. So, but again, I still think the team is good enough to make win the AL West over the Rangers and Astros, even if we make no moves. I think that we're good enough to, compete if we get hot enough late in September and October to make the ALDS or ALCS. I'm not sure if we're good enough to make it all the way to the World Series this year based on the bullpen, the pitching staff, and the hitting. But again, I still think that we are one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the American League, but it's all going to be about consistency and getting hot and healthy at the right time. And if we can get hot and healthy at the right time, I think that we have a good chance against like the teams like the Yankees and the Orioles, who are better than us right now. Juan Soto has been a great addition to the Yankees, right? And obviously Gunnar Henderson and Adley Rutschman and that Orioles squad is really fun to watch. Probably the funnest team to watch in baseball right now, the Baltimore Orioles. I mean, regardless if you're a fan of them or not. So, bottom of the 6, 2 outs, 2-0. Marinez, 1-1 pitch. The JJ Bleday pops that one foul. 1-2 count. Bo Bichette, Vlad Jr., and Luis Robert, those all sound, and Pete Alonso, they're names, they're players, but you're going to give up way too much for them. And then you don't even know what you're going to get out of them. Like, what happens if we end up getting Bo Bichette or Vlad Jr. and they get hurt? Or if they end up batting like 150? And then we give away like half the farm system of guys that maybe would have been starters for us next year or the year after, just to try to make like a World Series this year. And then what happens if we make the move, and then they only are a rental for this year and then they move on to another team next year? You have to take all those things in consideration: the money, the salary, what we're giving up, what we're getting in return. So as far as big names, I highly doubt the Mariners are going to do a big name, if any. But we'll find out. Because I know they cherish a lot of those guys in the farm system. I mean, we haven't had this much depth in a farm system ever. So do we really just want to, act like we don't care and just get rid of them? Yeah, the trade value will be high, now for guys like Harry Ford and whatnot. But what happens if Harry Ford ends up turning into a stud, like an Adam Jones, and you give up on a guy too early? Then you're going to never forget it. The fan base will never forgive you. So the Adam Jones one hurt, like I knew that Adam Jones was going to be a good player. And then as soon as he goes to the Orioles, all-star, it's one thing to have like A-Rod leave and take the money to go to the Rangers, but for guys like Adam Jones that we could have kept, but we decided to get rid of, and then they turn into an all-star, that hurts. Seems like a lot of guys that after they leave the Mariners, they end up getting better, but not all of them, but some do. It all depends on the roster that we have at that time, and back then we weren't very good. So next up for the Mariners, 1-for-1 with a run, RBI, and a base on ball. DHing for Seattle, Mitch Garver had a nice base knock earlier today, which he's been struggling as of late. Batting second, left fielder, new to the team, Victor Robles. And batting third, second baseman, who just got called up from AAA a few days ago, Ryan Bliss. 2-0 Mariners. And like I mentioned multiple times on the stream, make sure you're taking care of your mental health. Addiction, depression, anxiety are things that a lot of us are going through on the daily or have gone through in the past. So if you're slipping into the darkness, make some, little minor adjustments to your daily routine. Exercise, right? Maybe don't party as much. Cut back on the booze. Listen to music. Go for a walk. Spend time with pets. You'd be really surprised if you make a minor adjustment or two to your daily routine, you can get out of the darkness and you can win the day. Big facts. Jimenez is in on the mound for JP Sears. Mitch Garver in the box, 1 for 1 with a run, RBI, and a base on ball. Let's go, Garv. Pitch is inside, 1-1 count. No, 2-0 count. Let's go. I'll take a walk out of Garv if we need one. Call someone up. I mean, we got plenty of guys. I mean, I don't know if you've done any research and whatnot, on some of the guys that we have that are in the minor league system and whatnot, but it's crazy on the talent that we have up there. Cole Young, Colt Emerson, Harry Ford, Lazaro Montes, Tyler Locklear, Johnny Farmello, and then we have a few others, 2 more that have added to the list within the last couple weeks. So, but I think most of the people are looking at the big 4, Cole Young, Colt Emerson, Harry Ford, and Lazaro Montes. And those guys could be starters. Like, we're not talking about, these guys might be able to, pan out. Like, they're legitimately going to push some of the guys that are starting on our team now, and they may push some of those guys out. And they may end up taking some spots. That's how good some of those guys are. And some of them are going to still take some time. It may take a year, 2 years, 3 years for some of them, but some may get called up, next year, maybe the following year, maybe even this year. So they don't want to rush some of those guys. They want to make sure they take their time with them, whether it's high A, single A ball, double A, or triple A ball. And again, you can be dominant in high A, single A, double A, triple A, come to the major leagues and bat, 100 and then get called back down. Like we had Jonathan Class A, but it didn't really work out, right? But again, sometimes you need enough playing time to get enough reps. So you have potential, but if you don't get enough reps, you could still be a good player, but you could end up being a guy that could maybe hit 280 to 300. But if you're only playing 1 out of every 5 games, it's easy to go down and be batting 100 to 150. It doesn't mean you're a shitty player. You're just not getting enough chances to prove yourself. It's a very tough thing to manage, obviously in the organization. Top of the 7th, 2-0 Seattle, runner at first. But those are the type of things that I look at, with Reflect and my buddy Justin. I'm always looking at what we're doing in the farm system, and I'm following many people in the organization and people that are covering the minors, so that way I can kind of get a heads up on that. There goes Luke Raley, 1 away. We know Luke was going to get a chance to get in there, but nothing at that at-bat. With a nice little pinch hit attempt. I like that photo. Next up, pinch hitting again, Hollywood Josh Rojas. Good that we're getting some of these other guys out, and maybe we'll get Dominic Canzone in as well. But again, you're not getting a whole lot. Garb today, we're getting something, but you're not getting a whole lot out of Robles and Ryan Bliss. So if you're going to replace those guys, Robles and Bliss for guys like Rayleigh and Hollywood Josh Rojas, that would be a smart move at this point. Try to get some insurance. Let's go, Hollywood. But we'll probably, make a trade or not. But I don't know if those 4 guys are ready just yet. Again, it's one thing to be dominant in the minors, but it's different to be dominant in the majors. There's a big drop off, even from AAA to the majors. Like you could be batting 380, 15 home runs, and 50 ribbies in AAA, come into the majors and just suck ass and only make it for a couple weeks and then go back down. So, and you got to be mentally tough too. You have to have mental health. You have to be mentally strong. It's one thing to be physically gifted, but you have to be mentally strong to be a good baseball player, defensively and offensively in the box, or on the mound if you're a pitcher. Pitch is low and into the dirt. 1-0 count. Next up, JP Crawford. Come on, JP. One-0 pitch. Jimenez to JP. Good eye. 2-0 count. We're at 10, 90 to go. I think we're at 21. 9 more likes to get to 30. Let's get there. Pitch is in the zone for a strike. 2-1 count. Come on, JP. Pitch is low and inside. 3-1 count. Take the walk if needed. Let's go. We need some more insurance. Take that walk. There you go. Good eye. I like it. Don't swing at that garbage, baby. 21.1 scoreless innings versus the A's, the longest by any pitcher to start a career versus Oakland. Brian fucking Woo. Nice job, Brian. My guy. Woo! Nice job. Next up for the Mariners, third baseman, Demo Dylan Moore. Top of the seventh, 2-0 Mariners. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. Come on, baby. It's all good. That's what you have me for. You know, I'll do all the research. I'm usually reading about 4 or 5 hours a day, you know, watching film a couple hours a day, and then obviously doing the streams every day. Popped up. Nemo flies out. Go to the bottom of the 7th inning, 2-0 Seattle. Now we got Austin Vogt coming in. All right, let's take a look at the final stat line for Brian Woo. 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 6 Ks. 2-hitter. He had a 2-0 record. We won 5 starts. It looks like we're going to win 6, hopefully. But we're 5-0. And all his starts that he's played, he's got a 2-0 record with a 1.30 ERA coming into the game. And now his ERA is down to 1.07. My God. Brian fucking woo! Let's go. If he keeps it up like that, his ERA will be below 1 by the next start. Especially if he has another outing like this. Great job. And let's give JP Sears some love, too. He actually had a pretty damn good start as well. Not like he gave up 8 runs today. JP Sears, 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 8 Ks, 101 pitches, 60 strikes. And then his record going into the game was 4-4, 4 wins, 4 losses with an ERA of 4.01, and he got it down to 3.93. It's always better to be in the 3s than the 4s as far as ERA is concerned. Let's see who's due up for the Athletics. Due up for the A's, DH for Oakland, 0 for 2 with a K, Brent Rooker. Batting second, 0 for 2, right fielder, Seth Brown. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a K, catcher, Kyle McCann. Let's go, Mariners. Yeah, if he ends up, you know, keeping this up after the All-Star break, he definitely will be in consideration. But he did miss a good chunk of the season for an injury. Missed like the first month and a half, 2 months. So, but so far so good for Woo. Austin both in the game. Come on, Austin. Bottom of the 7th. Austin Voth on the mound. 2-0 count to Brent Rooker. Stevian Diaz comes into the stream and says, Robles is trash. Well, no shit. I could have told you that. Get into the double play, batting 100, didn't like the signing, goes into the outfield in the first inning, jumps off 1 foot to make some kind of like acrobatic catch, and then drops the baseball in his head. Robles is trash. I agree. Like, why are we even playing this guy? Stupid. You know, sometimes baseball is situational. You know, bases loaded, putting in Mitch Garver yesterday, dumb, right? End of the game, you know, we need a clutch hit or an RBI, and then you put in Robles in for like the very first time. Like, you have to understand, like, if you're going to do that, you know, let him play a couple games first, not just have him pinch hit for the very first time and think that he's going to be a fucking hero. And then what did he do? I said he was going to hit into a double play. He did, and we lost. Stupid. And I know the Mariners are trying to find value guys, but hell, I mean, get a value guy that's a no-name guy batting 300 or better on a shitty team like on the White Sox or something. You know, not a guy that used to be good 5 years ago on the Nationals when they went on their World Series run. That shit is irrelevant. I mean, if you're batting 100 to 150, fucking hey, we got plenty of guys on the team that are already doing that. We don't need to add another one. Fuck. Pitch in the zone for a strike, 0-1 count. Come on, Austin. Let's go, baby. In the box for the A's, Seth Pratt. Pitch is high, 1-1 count. I'm happy we actually got some hits before the 7th inning. Yesterday was like an anomaly. You know, pitcher has an ERA of 6, and we don't even have a hit until the 7th inning. Felt like I was in the twilight zone. And I told y'all we're terrible in the morning or the early afternoon. But how do we win in the morning or the early afternoon? One way: Brian Wu pitching. If anyone else is pitching, we get our ass kicked. But when Brian Wu pitches, whether it's the morning or the early afternoon, like today was 12:37 start Pacific, we're up 2-0. We have a good chance to win. He had a good outing again. So now it's just going to be up to the pitching and the bullpen, and hopefully we get a little bit more insurance, because I'm not sure if 2-0 is going to be enough to win. It could be, but I would like us to get to closer to 4 or 5 to feel comfortable. Next up for the Athletics, catcher Kyle McCann. Pitch is inside, 2-0 count. Come on, Bo. Big swing and a miss, 2-1 count. Nice pitch, Austin. Like, sub, donate, comment, share, help your boy out. Let's get to 30 likes. We're at 10, 90 to go on the donos. Both to McCann, 2-0 pitch, 2-1 pitch. Pitch is low and into the dirt, 3-1 count. Come on, Mariners, finish strong. 3-1 pitch to McCann. Close. Right on the corner of the strike zone, 3-2 count. We got him. Come on now. 3-2 pitch. Chopper towards first. Should be a routine play. To Ty France. Got him. End of the 7th inning. 2-0 Mariners. 3 hits for the Mariners. Only 2 for the Athletics. Not what you, not ideal, but at least we have 2 runs out of the 3 hits. End of the 7th inning. 2-0 Seattle. Let's see who's due up for the Mariners in the top of the 8th. Leading off for the Mariners in the top of the 8th, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks. Seems like there's just way too many games of Julio batting like this. Hopefully he can turn it around. He did have a home run late for us last night. Can he do a little bit of magic again? Center fielder, no fly zone, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, baby. We need you. Try dance up. Batting second in the order, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks this inning in the 4-hole. First baseman, Ty France. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a run and a base on ball. Big dumper, catcher Cal Raleigh. Let's go M's. And for any of the NBA fans that are in the room or watching on Twitter/X, Mavericks and Celtics, 5:30 Pacific on ABC. I won't be streaming it, but I will be watching. I'm not going to watch a whole lot of NBA anymore. A little bit of Blazers, but obviously they're terrible. A little bit of the playoffs, but not a lot. But once it gets to the Eastern Western Conference Finals, it ramps up a little bit more. And then obviously the NBA Finals, just like the Stanley Cup, for the NHL, I'll be watching every game. Pitch is outside. 1-0 count. Come on, Julio. Bring that electricity. Go 1 for 4, my guy. Pitch is in the corner of the zone for a strike. 1-1 count. Big swing and a miss. 1-2 count. Yeah, I think the Stanley Cup finals will be more interesting than the NBA finals. I would agree to that, John. Who do you got winning? You got Edmonton or you got Florida? Julio, pop foul. Count remains 1-2. You think Oilers in 7? It depends on Florida and Sergei Bobrovsky. Obviously, if you're looking at, who's in net, Florida's got an advantage. And, they made it very, very far last year as well. So I'm kind of leaning more towards Florida. Florida in 6 or Florida in 7, but I wouldn't be shocked if Edmonton wins in 6 or 7 either. Same thing goes with the Celtics and the Mavericks. I feel, Mavericks more like in 6, but if the Celtics win in 6 or 7, I wouldn't be shocked either. Both series are pretty evenly matched. Yeah, see, I'm different than you guys. I'm going Panthers and I'm going Mavericks. We'll see who's right at the end of the day. Pitch is on the outside corner for a strike. 1-2 count. Top of the 8th. 2-0 Mariners. But I think that what we can agree to, right, that this is the most evenly matched Stanley Cup, where there is no real definitive answer. There's not really like one superstar team that was like the best all year, right? Even though the Celtics were pretty good in the East, but they had a real easy route. Every team they played, all the superstar that they were supposed to go against didn't play. They were hurt. So I feel that they haven't really been battle tested. The Mavericks have. So I feel like on that end, the Mavericks had a harder path, to get there. And obviously with Edmonton, they fought and scrapped against the Stars. And a lot of people thought Dallas was going to end up winning that series. So, but it's pretty evenly matched, with the Mavericks and the Celtics. I'm not sure if there's really, an advantage there, on one side or another. I trust Luka and Kyrie more than Tatum and Brown. The only thing that's going to save Boston is home court advantage if they end up winning or extending the series longer. And then with Edmonton, they got a superstar on the roster, right, on Edmonton. But again, Florida may not have as big of names, but with the Chuck and with the Sergei Bobrovsky, who's going to play better in net? More than likely Florida. So if that's the case, and they were very close last year and the year before. So, Florida has been kind of creeping. That like sometimes you got to lose before you win, in the Stanley Cup. So we'll see where it goes. But I wouldn't be shocked either way. Mavericks, Celtics, wouldn't be shocked. Edmonton, Florida, I wouldn't be shocked either way. I would be shocked if we had a sweep by any team. Like if the Celtics 1-4, Mavericks 1-4, or Florida or Edmonton 1-4, I would be shocked. I think that would be the only scenario that would shock me. But if we ended up getting like Mavericks in 5 or Florida in 5 or Edmonton in 5, it would be a little shocking, but not incredibly shocking. This kind of depends on how the flow of the games go. France fouls that one back. Count remains 3-2. Yeah, Kraken, too much inconsistency in net. We didn't really have, Gru and Joey Decord. We didn't have enough presence in net for consistency. And then guys, McCann and a few others, Matty Beniers, a lot of Bjorkstrand, a lot of the guys that, were really good and solid for us the year before when we made the playoffs weren't very consistent this year. We need a better, goalie in net that has more consistency, and we need a superstar. We need a superstar center or forward or defenseman. We need our top end player on Seattle. And once we end up getting a top end player, top 5, top 10 in NHL, in the majors there, then we'll be able to hang. But until that happens, we're going to be kind of hit or miss. We'll make it 1 year, maybe not make it for a year. Make it 1 year, not make it. So, and especially if you're going to be going against teams like the Vegas Golden Knights, the Colorado Avalanche, and the Dallas Stars, fucking A, you better bring it. Because if you don't, you're going to get slapped in the mouth. It's not easy in the Western Conference. Not saying that it's easier in the Eastern, but fucking A, a lot of competition in the West. Reflecting the building, what's good? Yeah, 3 hits total for us, 2 hits for Oakland. It's been pretty rough. Moore hit a sacrifice to left and Garb scored. And then Garver singled to left and Raleigh scored. So Garb made up for yesterday for being kind of shitty. Brian Wu pitched fantastic reflect. And Victor Robles needs to be deactivated. So they go to Victor Robles, right? And he starts. So in the beginning of the game, he's in left field. He jumps in the air off 1 foot to make a routine fly out. And then he has the ball in his mitt. And then it falls out of his mitt. And then he drops it. So, I can't count on the guy, obviously, in the box. And obviously, I can't count on him on defense either. So I know it's not going to be the last time that we're going to see Victor Robles. Scott Service will probably continue to give him chances. But I think I've seen enough. If you can't make a routine play in left field and you have to jump off 1 foot to make a flashy, splashy play, which is not needed, and then you put your mitt up and you drop the ball and it falls out of your mitt, like, what the hell are you doing? But we are going to win this with Brian Wu. Brian Wu has been fantastic. Brian Wu's stat lines, 6-inning pitch, 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 6 Ks. His ERA is down to 1.07. And he's had the best start out of any team against Oakland in team history. Like 21 innings with I have to go back and look at the stat line. They'll probably bring it up again. I think it was like 21 scoreless innings, which is a record. No one has done that to Oakland ever. So. Let's go, baby. Top of the 8th, 2 outs, 2-0 Mariners. What are we having? Another pitching change? Sears, Jimenez to McFarland. McFarland is coming in. We had Wu to Austin both. Let's go, M's. Number 1 pitcher on the Mariners staff. Hopefully this will turn into 3-0 and an ERA of 1.07. He's won all 6 starts so far. If we win this, fucking Brian, woo! Number 1 pitcher, baby. Even though he's considered the 5 hole. I trust him more than Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, Bryce Miller, and Luis Castillo as of today. And hopefully those other 4 will catch up to Woo's greatness. Yeah, good thing we didn't trade him. Good thing that we hung on to him. Yeah, you'll see a replay of it at some point, but it was just so unnecessary. You know what I mean? He's got his little stunner shades and, he's got his little fit out there. Obviously he grounded out into a double play yesterday, which we predicted that would happen, and it did. Stupid ass move by Scott Service, which he does make some brilliant moves from time to time, but the garb with, bases loaded and then having Robles, it's like situational baseball. If you're going to do that, wait for Robles to play a couple games and then put him in that position. Not like his very first at-bat with the organization with the game on the line, and then you put him in, like dumb. Like anyone can realize that you're going to probably hit into a double play in that situation or strike out, and that's exactly what happened. So, and then him just, I don't know what the fuck is going on with him, but jumping off 1 foot to show off, and then putting his mitt above his head, and then not closing the mitt, fast enough, and having the baseball in his mitt and then fall out. I mean, unexcusable. And it's like you're already batting like 100 to 150. We have plenty of players that are already doing that for the Mariners. We don't need another one. I would rather bring up a player than grab a guy like that. Deactivate his ass. Throw to first. Got him. Go to the bottom of the 8th inning. 2-0 Mariners. DXPO with his second ever dono to the channel, a tenner and a $5. Thank you so much. You know what's funny? When the City Connects first came out, it was kind of a mixed bag because people didn't like the black pants. But if you look at a lot of the jerseys that were see-through with the tops and the bottoms, and they were sweating through the jerseys, and they looked terrible. I actually like the City Connect jerseys a lot. Compared to like the blues, the navies that we have right now. The creams aren't for everyone either. You know what I mean? But I think that Northwest green, the teals are number 1. I like the whites. The cream for most Mariner fans. I think 80% of Mariner fans like the cream as like a, an alternate. But I think the one jersey that we need to get rid of is the one that we've been wearing in this series, the navies. We have like a 500 record with them. I don't think they look that good. They're very generic. I would rather go with gray top, gray pants. I think the grays are fire. I think the grays, in my opinion, might be like the 3rd best jersey. Teal, white, and then I think I would probably go gray. Right? And then obviously the City Connects, I like those. Maybe City Connect even over the grays. So we'll see where it goes. But again, I'm not in charge of the uniform. I appreciate you, DXPO. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, a little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. First time jumping into the stream, we got a sub, and we got 2 donos. That's what we talk about, another new NWSF member that will be back, and we appreciate you very, very much. Well, they'll start to grow on you once you start seeing uniforms that are see-through. Would you rather see a cheaply made Fanatics jersey that has a see-through top and bottom? You know what I mean? Again, I think as the games go along, I think it'll grow on you. And I think it has grown on a lot of players, especially if we play good ball in them. And I like it. Again, when I first initially saw it, I wasn't really a fan of the black pants. I was like, this kind of looks fucked up and ugly. But then as you watch it more and more, compared to all the ugly, cheaply made Fanatic Nike combo jerseys, I'm actually starting to warm up to that look with that, that bluish color, with those black pants. I kind of like it. Steve in the building. So I listen to you every M's game you stream, which is almost every day. Appreciate the dedication. My radio home doesn't have reception. Oh, that's awesome. I appreciate that very, very much. Hopefully I've earned your sub at some point or another. First dono to the channel for Steve. Thank you so much. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Thank you so much. Steve in the building showing love. And like I said, I feel I am the number 1 destination for Mariners streamers. Like I cover the Mariners, I cover the Ducks, I cover a lot of football, wrestling. But I think most people know me for, being, kind of the go-to guy for the Oregon Duck and the go-to guy for the Seattle Mariners. And I really do appreciate the kind words as well as earning a dono for the channel and for the dream. Thank you so much to Steve and DXPO. Thank you guys. And so when you guys donate, if there's any type of photos that you guys want to see, that's kind of, what I do. So if there's a Mariner player, past or present, that you want to see a photo of, HD, 4K, let me know. Type it in the chat, and I'll throw those up for you for your appreciation to me for the dono that you have given the channel. Thank you so much. Bottom of the 8th, 2-0 Mariners. So DXPO, you let me know who your favorite players are, like, who you root for. Let us know a little bit about you. Same thing with you, Steve. I assume, obviously, Steve is a Mariner fan. Obviously, DXPO as well. But, let us get to know you guys a little bit. Who are your guys' favorite players, past or present, on the Mariners, if you guys have some legends? Obviously, with me, I met Ken Griffey Jr. I've told the story a billion times, and a lot of the regulars are tired of it. But for the newbies, they need to hear it. I probably wouldn't have done this channel if I didn't meet Ken Griffey Jr. when I was 7 years old. Met Ken Griffey Sr., got the autograph. And a few years later, when I was 10, my dad's been a Dodger fan, since the 50s. And then I met Sandy Koufax when I was 10, got the autograph and the photo with him as well. So I pretty much met the best left-handed pure hitter that didn't do, PED or roids, and Ken Griffey Jr., purest swing in baseball of all time. And then I arguably bet the best pitcher as a lefty besides Steve Carlton or Randy Johnson, the big unit, and Sandy Koufax. And when you meet guys like that, it definitely changes your forever. So. Yeah, that's why sometimes people will donate on the Cash App, because then I'll end up getting more. And obviously, we know with Google and YouTube, they take a big percentage. Like if someone donates like $100 to me, I'll probably get 65 of it or 70. Unfortunately, but when people do like a Cash App or a Venmo, I'll get obviously a bigger amount. Usually it'll be like 97 out of 100 or something like that, or 95. But whatever individuals feel comfortable donating, they can end up doing that at any given point. Any donation is very, very appreciative. It really does mean a lot, because, like I said, I've been doing this for 12 years, 8 years on YouTube. 4 other additional years, just, Facebook and other platforms. It took me 10 years to go full-time after having 2 to 3 jobs. And this is my 3rd year full-time. So thank you so much. Appreciate the kind words. Thank you. Bottom of the 8th, 2-0 Mariners. 1-2 pitch from Bowman to Soderstrom. Fouled that one out. 1-2 count. Julio. Nice. But here's Ken Griffey Jr. in 1989, and then me with the flowing locks, and then my dad. Soderstrom with an F-bomb as he gets struck at. The Ken Griffey Jr. Don Russ, because I thought he looked like a pimp in this photo / card. There was a lot of cards that, I didn't have the upper deck card at that particular time. I had the Fleer, the Bowman, and the Don Russ. I've always liked the colors. It reminds me of the 90s with those crazy purples and teals that we used to wear with windbreakers. And I love the rated rookie series. So obviously I chose this one. And then a couple years later, your boy, your dad, and Sandy Koufax in 92 when I was 10. So, and I still go to games with my dad. Thank God my dad is still living to this day. So we still end up trying to go to games as often as possible. So that's a little background on me for people that are new to the channel or that haven't heard that story. Steve and DXPO. Fuck, I'd be speechless. I don't even know if I ever got to a point where I could actually interview Ken Griffey Jr. or be in the same room with him, or even like on a Zoom call, or something like that, and do like some kind of interview. Like, it would be incredible. I love Griffey. I love Randy Johnson. I love Edgar Martinez. I love Ichiro. And then obviously a big Julio guy, big Cal Raleigh guy. I like George Kirby. I like guys that we bring up within the organization. Not saying that I don't like Luis Castillo after we brought him over from the Reds, but I always lean towards guys that we draft. And that's not just with the Mariners. It's just anything that I follow. Basketball, baseball, football, hockey. It always means a little bit more when you bring up a guy in your own system instead of trading for a guy. Geloff popped up. 2 away. Yeah, and I know I look young, but I'm 42, so I've been watching since 85. So I've been watching since I was about 3 to 4 years old. Mark Langston, Brantley, Phil Bradley. Oh, okay. The Rain Man, Ray Allen, nice. I'll throw up some photos here in a little bit. We'll get some Julio for DXPO, and I'll see if I can find some Mark Langston. Alvin Davis, going back, in like in 87, you just got, Harold Reynolds, and, it just depends on, when you started watching. And, we've had many, many players over the years, and some kind of obscure names that maybe were only around for a few years, like Tino Martinez, John Olerud, Chris Bosio. I mean, it all depends. There's going to be different levels of fandom, but again, I look young, and a lot of people think I'm in my 30s or late 20s. Thank you. I got good genes from my mom and my dad, but I'm 42. So a lot of times when people see me for the first time, they don't believe it. But I've been watching wrestling and sports since 1985. So pretty much the birth of wrestling, the birth of video games, the birth of the internet, and I've been able to see the greats. The greatest of all time in all sports: basketball, baseball, football, hockey, tennis, golf. If you were an 80s baby or even a 70s baby, or even before that, anything 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, or even early 90s, compared to the babies that were born in 2000 and beyond. Obviously, we have seen things that the people that have just recently been born in the last 25 years wish that they could have seen. We get a couple of Julios up here for DXPO and see if I can find some Mark Langstons. Appreciate you. And I was lucky enough to get a Julio foul ball in his rookie year against the Royals and Bobby Witt Jr. So I've had pretty good experience with that. The sports gods, for whatever reason, they love me. And I got 2 AAA baseballs from the Portland Beavers. That was the Minnesota Twins affiliate in the 80s and the 90s when the Twins were World Series champs. So I ended up getting 2 baseballs, 2 foul balls, and a set of batting gloves when I was a kid. So I've always been kind of right place, right time. And I know that I turned into a honey badger. I'm not going to injure anybody, but I know where to go to be able to put myself in a position to get a ball. And I've been to 7, 8 Mariner games, and I've gotten 3 baseballs. My first one was with my dad, Kike Hernandez, when he was on the Dodgers. That was my first one about a year or 2 before COVID. And then in Julio, rookie year in 2022, I got a foul ball from him in the 9th inning in Seattle. And then a few weeks later, I predicted that I was going to get an Aaron Judge ball when the Yankees came into town, and I fucking did. So I don't know what the chances of that happening are, predicting you're going to get a Julio and Aaron Judge ball and then actually coming through and actually having it happen. So I don't know. Sports gods, it seems like if I say it and they hear me, a lot of times they'll put me in a position to have a magical thing happen. And so far, so good. So 5 baseballs total, 2 in AAA, 3, obviously 1 Dodger, athlete with Kike, and then obviously the other 2, 1 Mariner, Julio, and then 1 Aaron Judge. Doesn't really get any better than that, besides maybe like a Shohei Ohtani. And then I'm going to be going to the Baltimore Oriole game on the 4th of July, and I'm going to try to get Adley Rutschman, Gunnar Henderson, or possibly a Cal Raleigh. But if I do get a ball, I'm hoping it ends up being like a Julio so I can give it to my friend. My friend Justin is like my best friend. He's been to like 150 games. He used to live in LA. And he's lived in Oregon, then LA, and then Oregon again. And he's been to like 150 games between the Dodgers and the Mariners, and he's never gotten a ball. The closest that he got to getting a ball is when I got my Julio ball. Popped up. Back. Gone! Unbelievable. Mitch Garver, homer to center. Let's go. Mitch Garver having the game of his life. 3-0 Mariners. Woo! Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Yeah, baby, we're winning this game. Hell yeah. Let's go. Mitchie. Your favorite non-Mariner player is Verlander. What did you like Verlander? What team did you like him on? Did you like him when he was on the Tigers? Right? Like pre-Kate Upton? Did you like him on the Astros when he helped him win the World Series? Like, is there a particular Justin Verlander that you enjoyed more? Like the Tigers version when he came in, or more Astros, or just doesn't matter? It's just Verlander. He's a special player. Not as good as he used to be, But again, if you got a lady like Kate Upton in your corner, chances are you're probably going to be playing pretty fucking good most of the time. Big swing and a miss on that sweeper to Luke Raley. McFarland with the K, 1 away. Rojas, little dribbler, throw to first, 2 away. Some of these aren't going to fit the screen, but I try to get ones that fit the screen so it looks the cleanest. But sometimes the size of them, will be a little off. But let me see if I can. I got to delete a few of these to make room, but I got a couple Mark Langstons here. Top of the 9th, 3-0 Mariners in the box, 1 for 3, J.P. Crawford. Get one up here. Woo! Look at those unis. Let's go. So got some Julios for DXPO. And we'll try to get a couple up here for Steve as well. Maybe I'll see if I can get a Mickey Brantley up here for you as well. Obviously, lower names like that aren't going to have as much, but I can definitely search and see different keywords, see what we can do. DXPO with his 3rd dono to the channel and his first stream. Let's go, baby. Astros World Series here. There you go. Sometimes you'll have those key memories and those, key moments. So I appreciate that. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks. A little Cactus Jack JP, dribbler towards first. And got him. 3 up and 3 down. But we did get that home run. Appreciate you, DXPO. I'll get you a Verlander here in a second as well. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Appreciate you. Reflect with a fiber. Appreciate you. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. Last opportunity for the A's. See if I can flow a couple photos in here real quick. Darren in the building, what's good? Some of them might be a little blurry and whatnot, obviously being a little bit older, but as long as we get it, let's see what we got here. So we had the old school vintage look from Mark Langston there for Steve, watching baseball from back in the day. And I love the obscure names, anyone can go through like the main names, but look at that leg kick. Wow. A little blurry, but still, at least it fits the screen. Not everything's going to be HD 4K converted in 2024, Very cool. We're at Stanikin. Oh, baby. Let's go. See if I can squeeze in one more here real quick. I'm a big card collector too, so anything that I see from back like in my childhood days, it definitely sparks a memory for me. Let me see if I can squeeze one more in here. This will give you some memories if you collected baseball cards in the 80s. Wow, look at the logo in the corner. Wood grain, 87 tops. Awesome. Hope you enjoyed those. Wish that some of the other photos for Langston and Brantley were a little bit sharper, but again, obscure names. You're not going to really have as much to go through, with that option, but I got one more. We're squeezing them in here. Pitch fouled back to Abraham Toro, 1-2 count. Boom. Tops. And then these ones kind of remind you of like the Mother's Cookies type of cards that they had back in the day that were very collectible. Awesome. I don't think we've had anyone really bring up names like that besides Reflect. It's nice to be able to hear someone that's an old school fan that might be a little older, 40 and up, that has the recollection. because half of the fan base popped up and out to Luke Rayleigh, one away for Abraham Toro, but we have half of the fan base that's under 40, and then we have half of the fan base that's 40 to 90. So it's a very wide variety. You know, you're going to have people from like 18 to 40, and then you're going to have people from 40 to 90 years old on the channel. So a nice wide variety across the globe. Love it. I hope you guys enjoyed those. First pitch there from Stanek to Andujar, 0-1 count. Pitches outside, 1-1 count from Stanek to Andujar. Right, man, I can't believe you remember that. That's awesome. Not a lot of people remember that. Yeah, I can tell you're an OG fan. Yes. One-two pitch. Dribbler towards third. Rojas to tie France. 2 away. All right, baby. 1 out away. How are you? Jacob went to the Guardians-Royals game today, but unfortunately, the Guardians lost. We'll be looking forward to that matchup against you guys. We need a little bit of payback. Even though the Guardians lost, did you have a good time? Any day at the ballpark is a great day. Beer or no beer, hot dog or no hot dog, baseball or no baseball. Pitch is low and outside, 2-0 count. Bottom of the ninth, 3-0 Mariners over the A's. Stanek on the mound. J.J. Bleday in the box. 0 for 3, trying to make it 0 for 4. How did Bobby do in the game? Did Bobby Witt Jr. just fuck you guys up? What was his stat line? Did he homer or get like an RBI? But when I got the Julio ball in Julio's rookie year, I got to see Bobby Witt Jr. in his rookie year, and that was a big reason why we went to go see Royals and Mariners, because I knew that Bobby Witt Jr. and Julio would be like must-see TV, and it definitely lived up to the billing. Let's go, baby. One more out. And we'll get a couple photos before I end the stream for DXPO for Verlander. I'll stay on for another like 10 minutes after the game ends. We'll do a few photos, and then we'll call it a day. 5-10 minutes after the game ends. That way I can get something for Reflect, maybe a couple more for Steve, and then a couple for DXPO. Appreciate you guys very much. Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, 3-0 Mariners. We're about to win this series. 2 games out of 3. It should have been a fucking sweep, but it is what it is. Pitch is on the corner for a strike, 3-2 count. Count is full. One more strike. Let's end this, baby. And in the box, J.J. Bleday. A very baseball name. Stanek, 3-2 pitch. Oh, he crushed that one. Foul. Mariners at Twins or Royals. Iowa, nice. You're pretty close to Sarah. She lives in that general area as well. Missouri, Iowa area. Popped up. There we go. Let's go. Final score, Mariners 3, Athletics 0. We win 2 games out of 3. We win the series again. And when the Mariners win, what do we do? We dance, baby. Mariners win! Mariners win! Mariners win! Let's go. Only 4 hits and 3 runs and an error, but we held them to 2 hits total. We'll take that. After getting our first base knock in the 7th inning yesterday, could have been a little bit better, but considering we won game 1 4-3, lost yesterday 2-1 with a Julio home run late, and then we won this game 3-0. Let's go. Nice job, Ems. Some photos up for the goats in the room to show my love and appreciation for you guys. And I'll end up taking Paisley for a walk here once this is finished, and we'll stay online here for another 5 to 10 minutes, and we'll call it a day, and then I'll be live tomorrow. Let's go. Steve with another tour. M's win, bang, bang. They're going to drink some Tang. Let's go. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack, bang, bang. $2 holla. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Let's go. Trident's up. Hell yeah. All right, let me see if I get a few more photos here. I'm looking. I'm not really sure why anyone would grade a Mickey Brantley card per se, but this one's nice. A Mint 9 from the 89 Fleer. Same issue as the 89 Fleer King Griffey Jr. Clean. But a lot of times people are going to collect sets, and sometimes that's what they'll do, is they'll try to have a graded set, even out of the obscure players. Very cool. Oh, yeah. Wu deserves to be in the All-Star game. Maybe the only person that is deserving besides Andres Munoz, if he's healthy enough. Let's get a Justin Verlander here for DXPO as well. And then reflect anything that you want to see. If I can get you one more Verlander. Yeah, they did. That's true. I got you. Yeah, I think a lot of us did. Brian Wu, baby, best player on the team, not named Andres Munoz. 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 6 Ks, and he came into the game with a 2-0 record. The Mariners won all 5 games that he pitched in. Now we've won 6 games. He's got a 3-0 record, and his ERA was 1.30 going in. Now it's 1.07. One more quality start, and he'll be down under 1. He'll be at like 0.90 or lower, maybe 0.80, depending on how things worked out. It's our guy, Brian. Woo! Let's go. We'll even go through some like old school Brian Wu college and early Mariner photos of him. Lots of potential. Last year, he was giving up, 5, 6, 7 runs, a couple home runs a game, and he's really locked and loaded. And I feel like his delivery with the baseball, his confidence, his swagger, the aura, the vibe, it's there. I'm not saying that Logan Gilbert, Luis Castillo, George Kirby, and Bryce Miller are terrible, but those guys are very hit or miss this year. And Brian Wu has really been the only consistent piece besides Andres Munoz. Those 2 guys deserve to be in the All-Star game. Not necessarily Julio. He doesn't deserve it, but they'll probably vote him in as a fan vote because he's Julio Rodriguez. But as far as stats are concerned, Julio, there's no fucking way he deserves to make it. But guys like Brian Wu, he definitely deserves it. Just like Andres Munoz deserves it as well. Look at him with the little glasses. That doesn't even look like him. Awesome. Yeah, people was like, oh, trade Wu, trade Logan Gilbert. Hell no. That's what they were saying. No thanks. Sometimes the guys that are least likely to be the heroes end up being the heroes. Luke Raley, Dylan Moore, right? Hollywood Josh Rojas, now Brian Wu. Everyone thinking, oh, J.P. Crawford, Julio, Cal Raleigh. Sometimes it's not going to be those guys. And, it gives an opportunity for some of the others to be able to step up and make a name for themselves. And I really like what we're seeing here out of Brian Wu and the Mariners. Got a really good one I'm going to convert here. This next one we're going to use on the streams moving forward. Just got to wait for him to have more starts so that way that there's more opportunities for photos, but I got a really good one. This one right here. Yeah, baby. That's one of my favorite ones. I was waiting for it to convert over, but we're using that one on the stream moving forward. Beautiful. One of my favorites, actually. Not saying that some of these other ones are terrible. They're not, but, just older, college stuff or, him just chilling, interviewed. But this one, in game, woo, like that. Seriously, finding these gems late. Agreed. Yes. I mean, I'll go through thousands of photos, and out of pitching photos, this is one of the best ones that I've seen in quite a while. Whoever the photographer is, they definitely need a raise. Fantastic, and it will be part of the rotation. Like I said, sometimes you just got to wait for some of the photographers to take more so that there's more options, and sometimes there's only limited options on what's available. So. I got one more that I was waiting on. Here we go. This is another one we're going to add to the rotation too. This other one's pretty good. Not as good as this photo, but decent. And then we'll do this one as well. Let's go, baby. Probably. Usually, with 20, 30, 40,000 capacity, they usually have like 800 people there. So not ideal if you're an athletic fan, but I appreciate you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and obviously getting Steve to chime in. I hope that you come back and chime in more often. Thank you so much for your support with the donos, and I'm glad I can be your Mr. Mariner guy, since your radio service is a little off in your particular location. So I'm more than happy to be able to cover the Mariners for fans globally, regardless if you're in the Pacific Northwest or if you're outside of that particular zone. DXPO coming in and showing some love as well. Appreciate you guys. Reflect coming in late. Final score, Seattle Mariners 3, Oakland Athletics 0. Have a great rest of your guys' Thursday afternoon/evening, and I'll be back tomorrow with another live stream. Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X as well as YouTube. Shout out to Steve, Reflect, DXPO, Sarah, and many, many others. I appreciate you guys, and I got one question for you. Talk sports like us. Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Gang.